Yep. Sonny, this is sure enough Indian summer. Don't know what that is, I reckon. Do you? Well, it's when all the homesick Indians come back to play. You know, long time ago, long before your granddaddy was born even. There used to be heaps of Indians around here. Thousands, millions, I reckon, as far as that's concerned. Regular sure enough Indians. None of your cigar store Indians, not much. They was all around here. Right here where you're standing. Don't be scared. Ain't none around here now. Leastways no live ones. They've been gone this many a year. They all went away and died. So there ain't no more left. But every year, long about now, they all come back. Leastways their spirits do. They're here now. You can see 'em off across the fields. Look real hard. See that kind of hazy mist look out yonder? Well, them's Injuns. Injun spirits marching along and dancing in the sunlight. That's what makes that kind of haze that's everywhere. It's just the spirits of the Injuns all come back. They're all around us now. See off yonder? See them teepees? Kind of look like corn shocks from here. But them's Injun tents. Sure as you're a foot high. See 'em now? Sure, I knowed you could. Smell that smoky sort of smell in the air? That's the campfires a burning and their pipes a going. Lots of people say it's just the leaves burning, but it ain't. It's the campfires, and the Injuns are hopping round 'em to beat the old Harry. You just come out here tonight when the moon is hanging over the hill off yonder, and the harvest field is all swimming in the moonlight. You can see the Injuns and the teepees just plain as can be. You can, eh? I knowed you would after a little while. Did you ever notice how the leaves turn red about this time of year? It's just another sign of redskins. It's when an old Injun spirit gets tired dancing and goes up and squats on a leaf to rest. Why, I can hear him rustling and whispering and creeping round among the leaves all the time. And every once in a while, a leaf gives way under some fat old Injun ghost and comes floating down to the ground. See, here's one now. See how red it is? It's the war paint rubbed off an Injun ghost. Sure as you're born. Pretty soon, all the Injuns go marching away again. Back to the happy hunting ground. But next year, you'll see 'em trooping back. The sky just hazy with them, and their campfires smoldering away just like they are now. Happy Halloween, everyone. Happy Indian summer. This is the Jack of All podcast, pod number 11, Halloween. All right, what you guys just listened to was Indian Summer by John T. McCutcheon, originally published in the Chicago Tribune on September 30th, 1907. So, it's Halloween time, everybody. It's fall. I think it's been a beautiful Indian summer. Man, it has been nice and warm, but all the leaves are colorful and starting to fall, and it's just been beautiful. I think it's maybe starting to finally turn cold this week, but it has just been a great Indian summer. And I love this story for the imagery that it gives, and also the reminder of, who was here first. And all the Indians that came and lived on, for me in the Midwest, lived right where I am before I was ever here. And if there's any ghosts out there or anything that should rightfully be where I am, oh man, there should be a lot of Indian ghosts around. And I don't know, I was out in the woods the other day hunting in the tree stand, and where I was at, I'm on this creek, and it leads up to the Mississippi River right where there was an Indian reservation. And so at least then, when there was reservations, there were Indians there, and I imagine beforehand they were in this area as well. So I feel like certainly there were some that went by there, and I imagine I want this to happen. I want this to be a reality for me so bad. I'm up in the tree stand, and I imagine that behind me I look, and whoa, where did the field go? It's just all trees. I'm just in the middle of the woods now, and I'm looking down, and I see these two Indian boys go by with their bows, all in leather and everything, and just out hunting along this river, just like I am, but in a whole different place, in a whole different time, the ghosts of these Indians that once were. And I want that to happen so much, and I never see these things. I want to see these ghosts like this. I mean, I don't feel like being terrified, haunted, but man, what an experience that would be. And so this story kind of reminds me of what was once there, and what, if I imagine the ghosts that be where I live, that this is what I might see, and it's beautiful to me. So anyways, this is the Jack of All podcast. On this podcast, I had my buddy Scott over to talk about his experiences with ghosts or spirits or whatever these things may be. And I really wanted to talk to this guy because I always want to have these experiences. I'd love to see some ghosts. I mean, I would love to concretely say, like, yeah, I believe, and I'm always looking for UFOs or ghosts or spirits or some anomalies, and I never get there. But then I meet people like this, like Scott, who I knew him for quite a while before we ever talked about this stuff. Oh, excuse me. Anyways, I knew him for quite a while before we ever talked about ghosts and stuff. And one day we just randomly got on the subject, and he starts telling me all these experiences and stuff from when he was on a paranormal investigation team, about things he saw and experienced. I mean, moving objects and things like that, and electrical equipment shutting down and being really crazy. And I believe him because I knew him before I ever talked about this stuff. It's not like some crazy guy just walked up and starts telling me ghost stories. Like, he's a normal person. I trust him, and he tells me these things, and gosh, how could I not believe when he tells me? And I don't know, maybe I just don't want to experience. I don't know. But anyways, we talked all about his experiences with that, and there was maybe a few things we didn't touch on. Like, I think I never asked like why there was no video footage, and if I recall, I think there actually was, but the paranormal investigation team had it. There's so much crazy stuff about this, but point being, even with that footage, even with the stuff that he has, I dare you, any of you, to tell me that you'd believe me. If I post a video of ghosts moving things around the house, tell me you believe me. I guarantee you won't. You can make video and edit things so easy these days, and I don't know, man. I want the proof, and maybe that's the rules. You don't get proof. The electronics get to fail, and that's that. So I don't know, but I love it. I love this time of year. I hope you all do as well. I hope you have a happy and safe Halloween. Go get dressed up, go have fun, live it up, and don't forget to remember and maybe honor the ghosts that are here a little bit. Maybe just say thank you as you, and maybe go for a hike in the woods this fall and tell the ghosts that are there, hey, thanks, this is beautiful. Thanks for letting me be at peace. Because you're not haunted, are you? And if you are haunted, well, good luck. All right, guys. I hope you all enjoy the podcast. You can find anything I'm doing at jackofallpodcast.com. I'm on YouTube, Facebook, all of that good stuff. No advertisement for today. I'm out of time. I hate money. I don't even want to get paid for this. And so no advertisements. Enjoy the podcast, everyone. Happy Halloween. Oh, I completely forgot to explain. I set up an extra microphone for this podcast, right? So just in case we had any ghosts or anything around that maybe wanted to participate in the podcast, we got an extra live mic that the whole thing is right here in the podcast. I left it all in. And so if there's any ghosts or anything that chimed in, listen for them. Maybe they're on there.
So, I'm not sure if you remember me talking about that sanitarium. That's Waverly Sanitarium.
Oh, dude.
Yes.
That place looks like a horror show.
Right. And that's the place that you rent the whole place for 8 to 4 a.m. And you travel the whole place, basement, everywhere.
Yeah, that's crazy. Where was that at?
That is in, was that right? It's right around Louisville. It's pretty wild.
Kentucky?
Yes.
Halfway, like a legit masking. Like, I don't know where Louisville is. Not really sure.
It's right along the...
No, I mean, I've gone through it. I just was
Right.
like, oh, it is Kentucky, right? Because it's right on the border there on the river, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I've never been there. There's also the jail over in Ohio.
Yeah.
What's that called? Mansfield or
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And that place is also pretty wild. So,
old jail, I assume?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's closed down now, but they do the walkthroughs and stuff like that there. And
Nice.
Get a lot of tourism for the overnight campouts
Right.
and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's fun for the adrenaline.
Right?
So
Yeah, I bet.
it's
Get all pumped up for it.
Yes,
I've never
definitely.
done anything like that. I don't know. I really love like all the Halloween stuff, but I like at the same time I don't really do scary movies. Like
Right.
I don't know. I'm good. I don't typically like to be scared.
I don't do the scary movies. I don't watch horror movies and stuff like that. I don't like seeing people get killed,
Right.
It's not everybody dies,
Yeah. Yeah.
And I guess for a lot of people the question is what happens afterwards.
Yeah,
So
well,
that's-
nobody knows. So
right.
there you go.
That's part of the fascination is you're exploring something that there's really no data or scientific or anything
Yeah.
behind it, and
Well, the unknown
we're all
is
going to go
terrifying.
through it,
Yeah.
So you want to look into it and you want to see what's out there. You got all the religions, you have all the quote unquote bad religion,
Right.
negative.
What, like Satanism or
Satanic,
like
cults,
yeah.
whatnot. So
witchcraft or
yes.
voodoo?
Wiccan and
Yeah, there you
and
go.
yeah, researched a little bit about all of it. Just I find it interesting.
Heck yeah.
But and some of the people I had other people join in with me that I knew didn't believe anything.
Right, like
there's
about
no God.
ghosts or
There's no ghosts. There's no God. You die.
Okay, just kind of
So-
total. What is that? Agnostic or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. And to go in and all right, cool. I think there is some. Let's go look. If we find something, then there's got to be something more after life.
Right.
And-
Yeah, at least something going
Right,
on.
right.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what's out there. I was raised a religion, and it was Catholic. Can't say that I follow any specific religion.
Right. Sure.
And but I do believe there's something else out there after you die. And so getting into this, early on, we found there was something interesting out there. So, and what
Wait,
it is,
you in this group?
yes, yeah. We went to different places and whatnot, and we there's a lot of different instruments that we used, from infrared thermometers to daily equipment that electricians use to find electricity behind the walls.
Right.
EMF
They got like
readers.
wands that sense,
Yeah.
current running through wires.
Yep, EMF
Yeah.
readers and all that. We went out there with everything and an open mind.
When is this? What years? Just because I feel like that kind of frames the tech too. You know?
Right. I would say this is. I really got into it after high school, on my own. My sister did her own thing. We kind of investigated it together, And so that would have been around 97 through the early 2000s. Found out there's bad ways you can do this.
Right.
And I wouldn't recommend anybody just jump into it and go to town, because with anything, there's good and bad.
Right. So your sister was doing this too?
Yes.
So,
yes.
So, okay. So this is like a fan. Why did you even start into this? Because I feel like there's, just from talking to you previously, there's a little more of like something that, you know, a sense or whatever that you
Right.
have that got you into this in the first place, right?
Yeah. My mom, I guess to go way back, was open to this,
So like ghosts existing and such. Yeah.
My mom was raised Lutheran. My dad was, what I could say, hardcore Catholic. And so growing up, my mom being open, in fact, I still have it today. She ordered this book series from Time Life magazine. Had all these, the whole series was different, ranged from UFOs to ghosts to, what's that called? Combustion, where the human body just catches.
Spontaneous human combustion.
Yeah, anything weird was in these books.
Right, all the supernatural stuff.
I read it. My sister read it. My mom was kind of open-minded to all kinds of different stuff. So that kind of got the wheels turning at a younger age. I always question, my dad made me go to church every week, and I questioned a lot of stuff. I'm like, this seems kind of weird,
Well, you're sitting there talking about it. You're going to think about it, right?
And I'm, you're told this is supposed to be this, and this is supposed to be this. And then as the times change, oh, well, now that's changed, so it made me question religion. And it just struck me as a lot of religions seem to go along with politics.
Oh, yeah.
And
real
that
bad.
really kind of turned me away from your stereotypical church scene.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, you'd be stoned for being gay in the past, and now it's okay.
Yes, yes. To women weren't allowed to have power, like within the Catholic Church and whatnot.
There's some crazy passages in the Bible about women, staying out of the house for 7 days, or during that time of the month and stuff.
It just kind of clashed, and I'll say my mom's a more modern type woman, where women should be allowed to do whatever they want, and I agreed with her, and I'm
let's have human rights.
Right, exactly. And she ruled our household too, so even though Dad was hardcore Catholic, Mom made the decisions.
Nice.
But that got started young. My sister, she got more into mediums and psychics and stuff like that, and I don't know how I feel on that kind of stuff. I mean, I try to be open about it, but to me, it seems like if
maybe just like the fortune teller aspect of it. Or...
Yeah. I don't know. I always kind of teased her and called her Miss Cleo.
Right.
And
call me now, Miss Cleo.
Right. And I'm like, prove it. Give me the lotto numbers. What the heck? Don't give me this cheap information that I don't want. Give me some good info.
Leading question, BS info.
So that was us when we were younger. Which leads us into my late teens, early 20s. It just so happened me and my sister lived in the same apartment complex, and I was just a few buildings away from her. And she got a little more deep on her side, and I kind of faded away on my stuff,
Right.
And she comes to me and she's like, "Hey, I got this Ouija board." And she's like, "You got to try this." And I'm like,
"Oh no!"
I'm laughing at her. I'm like, "This is stupid. This is like, come on, really?" And I'm
this is like high school, right?
Yeah. I'm like, and she's like, "No, really, you got to try it." So we got to messing around with it, and blew my mind. I'm like, what the heck, really? And
so you say legit it works.
Legitimately, it works.
I'm scared to try.
And I would not recommend anybody try it, because you can't control the doorways you open.
I swear that's what everybody says who does these things.
Right. And it's like speaking to somebody on the computer. You don't know who you're talking to.
Right.
They might sound nice, and they're going to tell you what you want to hear. But a lot of times people are telling you what you want to hear because they're trying to scam you.
Oh yeah.
And
how could you really know the intent?
And to me, what it comes down to is, if anything's good, and it has a choice of talking to you or being in what's called heaven, well, where would you rather be? I would rather be in heaven. Right. So usually you're getting something. I won't say it's evil, but mischief bound,
Right.
you know, and just wants to toy with you because, well, you're probably doing something you shouldn't be doing.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you start asking questions, and in all honesty, we bought ours at, you know, one of your large retail stores,
Right.
because
Yeah.
it's in the gaming aisle.
Yeah.
And so you buy it, you open it up, it's all commercialized, you know, which makes it, to me at the time, I was even more like,
It's
this
super
is
cheesy.
a joke.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, for anybody who hasn't seen it, it's got like a magnifying the glass of a triangle that's raised up to, has these standoffs off the board.
Right.
So
Easier
that,
to slide around
yeah,
and
just
stuff.
glides across the board. You have your alphabet across the middle. You have numbers. I forget if they're on the bottom. You have yes and no on each side, and I think there's a couple extra little things. Even it's almost kind of like a keyboard to a computer.
Yeah.
And so two people basically do it. And you, I guess you can get a third if you wanted.
Is it no-go with one? Is that just a no-go? Is that the rules?
You know, you can, from what I've heard. I was
Yeah.
too scared to do it by myself.
Right? Yeah, that's getting pretty serious.
Right. And usually if there's other people around, somebody always join you anyways, because everybody's going to be like, well, I know you're pushing it, you know?
Yeah.
So it's literally at least that second person who's going to be like, okay, wow, we're not even, because your fingers are barely touching the triangle that floats.
Right.
I mean, just enough so that you physically feel it, and that's it. And it literally just kind of moves on its own. And, you know, you test the person you're with by asking questions that you know they wouldn't know.
Right.
And so the only person that would know would be you. And obviously, if you shouldn't be crazy enough to trick yourself.
Right.
And so, you know, yeah. So I, you know, we started messing with it. I thought it was crazy. You know, I was like, okay, wow, this is like some crazy cool power. Wow, you know.
What? So what? First time something happened?
Yeah, very first time we started asking questions. Whoever we were talking to seemed more obsessed with my sister. And she obviously had opened, afterwards, looking back, she'd opened up some kind of door.
Right.
And whatever this was wanting to talk to her.
Right.
And it had said some crazy things like, I want you to have my baby, and all kinds of other stuff. And I'm like, whoa. So,
what the fuck?
Wow, that's pretty intense.
Nice.
But
so this ghost is still wanting to pound one out.
that's so,
It's
yeah.
just after the girl having babies.
And I'm like, yeah, you know, you're gonna have Satan spawn. It sounds like so,
Right?
But I end up taking it to parties and stuff like that, you know, and being the weird guy. But I'll tell you what, a conversation breaker right there. So if you've never talked to somebody before,
Right.
you bring that into the house, and people are like, whoa, what is that? Who are you? You know, being back in the day, being young, of course, I'd go in, I'd smoked, and the first time I ever used this thing at a party, yeah, I was high off my wits, and I start using it, and a couple individuals are saying, who I've never met before, are like, all right, what do I do? Where do I work? I remember the one guy worked at this place. I won't say the name, but it's not a place I would have ever known the name. I mean, it was a crazy name. And
it spelled it out?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How weird.
And I can't spell either, so I can't lie.
Right? So typically you'd have communication that was like I mean, that seems fortune tellery to me. That seems
Right.
like you tell me like about me, and why would like whatever you're communicating with, why would it know about you?
Right.
Like I expect it to be more of like, well, like the I want you to have my baby stuff. Like that's what I expected.
Right.
You know, like kind of a demon coming through, have my baby.
Right. You know, it would say things like, you know, I had a grandmother who I really cared for. Oh, she misses you. She's watching you every day. You know,
Yeah.
just gaining your trust kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, a lot of people in their late teens, early 20s are going through this becoming an adult, learning how to be responsible, you know, but
Oh, it's so confusing.
Yeah,
I mean, I
yeah.
don't think reality's ever not slippery.
No. And you're always learning every day anyway, so it's a rough time. And, you know, with what we were finding and things that were happening, we were asked, we'd say, okay, make a sound, make something in the house
Right.
go boom, whatever, do something. It would happen. And of course, one of the main things, again, going back to setup is you're going to have, they recommend like white candles because that's going to bring in the light spirits. Don't use dark candles because those will bring in dark spirits. Doesn't work. I use light candles and nothing good ever happened.
Right. I'm not sure the coloring in the wax is going to change things.
No. I had no idea. Unfortunately, it's one of those times I listen to my sister.
I think you got to go real pro about it, though. You got to be like white candles made of goat's milk,
right?
Made on the virgin full moon,
right? Yeah, you gotta bring in some voodoo or something with this.
Yeah, make it real ceremonial,
right? You try to find out stuff, and you feel like you're in control, but in the end, when you really look at it, you find out, no, you weren't in control. And when I really realized that I was in my apartment, I had a friend over, and, she was really wary about doing it. She was a really strong Christian girl. And
smart girl.
And yeah, she was a lot smarter than I was, but I ended up talking her into it that day. And so we start talking to it, and it instantly goes back to, where's Kelly? Which is my sister. Where's Kelly? Where's Kelly? Where's Kelly?
Whoa,
and I'm like
repeatedly?
Yeah.
What
and
the fuck, dude?
Said, I'm not going to talk to you. I want to talk to Kelly. I want to talk to Kelly. I want her to have my baby. And I'm like, whoa. And my friend, she's like, yeah, see, I told you this is bad.
It's like weird persistent too.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you'd expect it to be like whatever ghost is passing by, like, oh, hey, this guy's chiming in, what's up? But like, that's
right.
That's one thing.
And that's where you go back to, you've opened up a doorway, and that
like
one person came through, and the only way it can communicate is like right here, because this is the door.
Right.
And and so basically I kind of told it off, and I said, you're going to talk to me, and you're going to do whatever I want. And it came back and said, I want to talk to your sister. The next thing you know, granted, all my power's turned off, but you just can't turn off a circuit breaker in an apartment, so my phone starts ringing. And of course, this is before cell phones they're out, but nobody my age can afford one at that time. So I have a beeper. So the phone starts ringing, and so I go answer my my home phone, and there's nothing there. And all of a sudden my phone goes dead. And then I lose power. Hear the stove shut off, all the microwave, the different little things turn off. And I'm like, what the heck?
Dude.
And I step out in the hallway. The hallway lights are still on. I could tell
just you.
Other people's apartments still have power. So, being I lived just a little down from my sister, I go over to her, and I'm like, hey, I lost power, but here's the messed up thing. I was using the Ouija board. She's like, I lost power.
Oh, fuck. Just you two?
Yeah. And I was like, what the hell? She goes, yeah, my phone rang. I pick it up.
Dude.
There's no dial tone or nothing. And then my power went out. And I'm like, just staring at her. And I'm just like, I go back to my apartment, and I was like, so, me and my friend went out, and I ended up spending the night at another friend's house because I'm like, I'm not going back to the apartment tonight.
Right. No, fuck that.
And I'm like, it wins. Next day I come back, I smash the board into a million pieces,
Dude.
Chuck it into a creek, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm not touching that. I got to look into this stuff. Obviously, there's bad things you can do.
When'd your power come back on?
It came back on when I was gone at some point.
Oh, Jesus, dude.
I was gone. I was done with it. Whatever. I left. Didn't care.
Fuck all that. That's so creepy.
Right.
Dude, how do you, man, I don't want to do these things, but then like I cannot sit here and listen to you and not be like, I believe.
Right.
But then I'm like, I never have these experiences, but I'm like, I don't know if I fucking want to. Like, that's funny what you say about leaving, because probably the most compelling experience I had was I'm in my apartment, and oddly, like, this, I don't know, it just sounds similar to me sitting here talking with you about it, but I lived with my sister in this apartment, right? So she's out, though, I think working or something, and her cat's there with me. That's just me and the cat.
Right.
And the cat starts just like mowing back at like towards the bedrooms. And I'm like, all right, what the hell? Like, what's she, she's kind of a weird cat anyways, but like, what is she doing? And she's being real weird. So next thing you know, she's like up on the couch behind me. I'm like just trying to watch a movie or something, mowing like crazy back towards this room. And I'm like, fuck. finally she's like starting to move like towards the other side, like across the
Right.
living room now. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? So I go back there to look and see if something's back there or like,
Yes.
what's up? Nothing's going on. And I walk by so there's the couch and then there's like the back hallway with the bedrooms and the bathrooms back there. I walk by the bathroom. There's no windows, like there's hardly a vent. There's just the one fan. It's all off.
Right.
And the shower curtain's just like waving.
Right.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Right.
All right, I'm just going to go watch my movie. You know, the cat's still mowing and freaking out.
Yeah.
Like I'm laying down. I'm trying to just ignore it. And I feel like this kind of cold prickling down my side that's like up on the couch. Like, and I feel like there's something kind of creeping over the couch. And I'm like, fuck this. I'm out. Nope, I left.
Yep.
Sorry, kitty. Bye-bye.
No, and that is a perfect example of, you know, from my I mean, everybody has their own beliefs. It's no exact science, but that is the perfect example of you experience something,
Right.
You know, and,
Right.
and you can't prove there was. It's a memory. You were there.
Yeah, I don't
You
think
know
I
it
was just
happened.
tripping out, you know?
Right.
Like,
You can't find any reason for it to happen, and during which, when it's going on, you feel like you're going, you know, somewhat crazy.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. And you're legit scared and like the shower curtain was moving.
Mhm.
Oh, man, I didn't eat some fucking ergot bread. Like, I'm
Right.
not fucking tripping right now.
Right.
Like, what the
Right.
fuck is this?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in a way it makes you think, and
Yeah.
you know
Well, it doesn't
it's just a
answer
reminder.
anything either, though.
No.
Because it could be totally like I even wonder, you hear about, like people think like you can attach an energy to something. Like,
Yes.
okay, we used to buy these like crystals and shit on the road. We used to be hippie as fuck,
Oh
you
yeah,
know? And,
yeah, I had those. Yeah,
and people would like be like, just be careful who you let touch it or like who you get it from because you
Right.
don't want bad energy attached to it and things like this. Or people talk about like maybe like with haunted houses, it's like, you know, the intense energy of like a horrible, you know, a murder house, you know, the
Right.
intense energy of that like leaves an imprint on the fucking walls, you know,
yes.
but I don't know, gosh, I have no idea what any of it, you know, really suggests, you know?
From the few experiences I've had, you know, we did an investigation at a high school,
Uh-huh.
and just south of South Bend, Indiana, and not knowing anything going into this place, one person knew the details. It was no longer used as a high school,
Okay.
but we got to stay there all night long. We locked the building down. We went down to the basement where we kind of sat down on some couches to camp out for the night.
Right.
It was some kind of empty room, and off to the side of us was the main boiler room, and right above us was the high school's gymnasium. And I want to say they shut this high school down probably in the 50s, early 60s.
Oh, it's been closed a minute.
Yeah, and it was still used for community functions and whatnot.
Oh, so they upkeep it. I was
so yeah, it
wondering how
was
they
it was
even
still in
let you
good condition. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we're in there, and nothing for the longest time. In fact, we even had a Halloween party in there to start the night off because
Right.
we did this for Halloween.
Nice.
And as the night goes on, you know, we're starting to get hearing little tinks and dings here and there, you know, but you're going to attribute that to an old building.
Yeah, for sure.
And so we put our EMF readers out because there's a time when your odds of catching something are at its best, and it's called the witching hour. And I want to say that's like between the hours of midnight and probably around 4 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
Why they
The
call it the
real
witching
dark
hour,
hours.
I don't know, because it's more than an hour. But
Yeah, right. Right.
So, you know, we got our EMF meters set up. We got our recorders set up. They're digital recorders. And that's the catch, because a lot of times you'll ask questions and you don't hear nothing. But
Right.
for whatever reason, you have a recorder set up, and sometimes you'll get something.
Yeah,
Weird
yeah,
noises, voices. Right.
Just in case. I set it up just in case. We got an extra microphone over
Right.
here with Skelly Bones and
Hopefully you don't get anything.
dude, you never know. I've got the track running, so it's labeled Ghost just in case.
Nice.
So yeah.
If he does start talking, that is awesome.
Dude. Yeah. Let's hear it, bro. What you got? All right, anyways.
Right on. So, you know, we have everything laid out. We have our flashlights. We have all of our backup batteries. And so people start asking questions. Of course, you have no straight up answers. You know, you're just hoping later you find something.
Right.
EMF detectors start going off in the center of the room. Okay, so we've got maybe something happening we're looking at, you know.
What does that mean? What is that actually telling you is happening physically?
The EMF is the detector that detects energy. So
Okay.
it's not like a Ghostbusters, ooh, we got a ghost, you know, ghost trap's going to go off and capture the thing.
Right.
It just tells us, for whatever reasoning, this electronic device, and we had two of them in case one was goofing up, is picking up some kind of energy.
Is it current or?
Yeah, it's electrician will hold it up to a wall,
Yeah,
scan it
okay.
across the wall, and that's where he'll find electrical conduits within the walls.
Cool. So it's reading the electrical field changing.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And so, you know, when those are going off, something different, especially if it's been sitting there, it's pretty still. The next thing that we start to notice is people are flipping through batteries, you know. And one of the things that tends to happen, and a lot of people who do the investigations will call these energies, because they require energy, just like humans require energy.
Right.
We get ours through food and liquids and everything else. Well, these energies have to get it through more traditional, wherever they can find it. You know, they can't eat anymore. So,
does it read positive, or does the current typically like jump or dip?
It jumps.
Ooh, that's weird.
And
maybe they're sucking up like negative and spitting out positive. Right.
Well, and yeah, that's what'll happen. I mean, all of us at this particular investigation, everything went dead.
Huh.
You know, we're using digital cameras. We're using at the time period, which was probably around 2005 or so.
Okay.
So digital cameras, camcorders, everything's running on batteries because there's nowhere to plug in down there. Yeah. Everything dies. So we're sitting in the pitch dark.
That's normal.
Yeah. and so now we're like, holy crap, we're really onto something crazy. So much for having any video footage or any, you know, as usual, as everybody says.
Why is that the rules? Why can't, like, why? Come on.
Right, yeah, you know, and that was the nuts part. And then we start hearing voices. I mean, the first time I've ever heard voices in my life, I'm like, I didn't believe it. I can't believe it. You know, everything about me says this can't be real. And I am open-minded and I do believe in this stuff, but every time it happens, I'm like, no. Part of me is like, you got to debunk it.
Yeah, for sure.
We start sitting there and the noises are getting louder and louder and it's getting to a point where it sounds like it's some kind of party going on. I'm hearing music and I'm like just tripping out. And so I start, you know, I have the couple people are sitting with me. We're sitting on a couch and we start ripping the cushions off. And I'm like, all right, people got in here before us.
Right. Yeah. They got it wired.
Halloween practical joke. And I ripped this couch down to just parts, you know.
Dude, you're like tripping out about it.
And, you know, I start feeling around the walls and I'm like, all right, I got to find
everybody's hearing
air
it?
ducts. Yeah, everybody's hearing it.
Huh.
And it's coming louder from the corner of the room where my group was sitting. And there's probably a total of 10 to 12 of us that night.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm getting into duct work and stuff like that. You know, we have a couple flashlights that we'd replace the batteries on. So I'm looking everywhere. I'm checking every cranny.
And the replaced batteries work?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, replaced batteries work.
Weird. But everything else just like sucked dry.
Yeah, it's, and I don't know why. It seems to happen on devices that are currently using energy.
Yeah.
So, those go dead so fast. It's
like taps into the flow and just sucks it out.
Right. And for whatever reason, if you have batteries in your pocket, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
From my experience. But yeah, you know, we couldn't find nothing. And this went on for probably about 3 hours that night, just rock solid.
Looking for the music.
Yeah, you know, and I went over the stairwell to go up. I went and searched the whole building. Nobody in the building. Building's dark.
Yeah.
Dead.
Does it just get quieter when you leave the room?
As soon as I leave the room,
just dips.
Dead. Nothing. And come back in, sit down in the room, and we sit there. 10 minutes goes by, and starts to pick up again.
Right.
Next thing we hear, what sounded like a more mature man talking just down the hall from us, and like the stairwell, because it was a zigzag stairwell, went up to the main floor of the building, and we hear him talking to what sounded like a younger woman and another younger adult male, and there was arguing, and we're like, what the heck? And I couldn't really make out what it was. You could tell the female was definitely disturbed and upset.
Yeah.
And the mature male was more in a you're going to listen to me and this is
Like
what's going to happen.
Something.
And the younger male was what sounded clearly angry. So, this all ends and, the night's over and it can't make sense of it. So
you don't know anything about this place, right?
That's nothing. And
okay.
normally if we were doing an investigation, we investigate the property. But this was more of a fun thing. We had somebody with us who knew the building. And so in the morning, they were going to, if anything happened, they were going to explain the history of the building to us.
Right.
And come the next morning, there had been a principal at the school who had gotten in trouble, never legally, but stepped down on his own and left, for violating some female students. And one of them was supposedly pretty bad. Back then it wasn't talked about, because when this supposedly happened, it's sometime in the 30s.
Okay.
So it's not talked about. You just be quiet about it, move on with life.
Right.
And a lot of times the girls were made to believe it's basically their fault,
Yeah. It's fucked up, but yeah.
And this is what we would, basically classify as a negative. This was something bad that happened.
Right.
So this negative energy is burnt into the building, and it's not that we would call this kind of energy as like it even knows we're there, because it's not like a human energy.
It's just almost kind of an energy on repeat.
Yeah, it's just skips, and repeats, and constantly happens. And
kind of like flies in. It almost to me like fucks with the concept of time and makes it so that like it is kind of all a little blurred together, and like the past is still maybe a little imprinting here because time is maybe not so concrete, and
exactly,
and that event, that energy is still happening in a sense.
Right. And
dude,
there's
you got to be like tripping out, like being told what happened there. Like I would be so thinking that they put this on. Oh, this is a thing that they do. Like this is
right. If it hadn't been for the fact that these are people that I did trust and were as big on it as me, as debunking and not faking it and being very cautious, because whenever we go out in an investigation, we do want to see something. And you have to be careful, because when you want to see something, sometimes you see what you want to see, but nobody else does.
Which is horrifying.
So you got to be real careful and objective to whatever you are seeing, and you don't want to come back and be like, oh wow, look what I found, and people are like, you're just nuts, because this is what that is.
Right.
You have the people that take a picture in their house. I'm like, oh my god, my house is haunted, look at all these orbs. Right. Oh, I'm really sorry, your house is just dusty.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there is a thing called an orb, and it is considered the energy, but that's not necessarily that's not a spiritual being. It is literally just an energy.
Right. I've heard of it. Listening to other podcasts, them talking about it being something that like I don't know, at times it'd just be something that would follow you or would like linger in front of you. Like it has all these different characteristics that it does, but it's typically never like communicative. It just kind of interacts a little bit and is around.
Right.
And like, kind of also associated with like maybe an area that's fucked up and has other things too that go on. But I don't know, man, kind of just maybe more of ripples in that kind of space-time energy field,
Yeah, it's a good sign that there is something in the vicinity going on.
Right.
but it's not something that can sit down and play checkers with you, or
Yeah.
or it's going to answer your questions or whatnot. It is okay, there's something here to investigate. Let's get deeper into it.
Yeah.
Why is this energy here? Why is this going on? A lot, and man, just to give an idea, when I was with a group where we did investigations and we go out, you were lucky if maybe 1 out of 10, 1 out of 15 times you got something.
Yeah.
Because how it happened is people would call in and say, "Hey, something's going on in my house. I feel crazy. I feel even crazier that I'm calling a group, called something to do with ghost tracking, whatever."
Yeah.
And so we'd show up out there, and sometimes you walk into a house and they're like, "Yeah, something's totally going on." And they got they got weed spread out across the table. You got some bottles of Jack laying out that are quarter full and they're pretty lit. And we're like, yeah, that's why you're seeing something.
Yeah.
Sorry, but so, and but sometimes legitimately there is something, and a lot of some of our first questions are, do you have teenage girls in the house? Do you have any kind of drama going on in your family?
Right.
And a lot of times stuff is drawn in when there's a lot of negative energy.
Oh, teenage girls. Huh?
Yes. Going through puberty and hating the world.
True story.
And fighting and
there is a lot of energy about that situation.
Totally.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times, when we would get something, you'd find it'd be focused around that individual.
Right.
And crazy enough, my current wife, she was married before me.
Uh-huh.
And when all her drama was going on, experienced a lot of crazy stuff in her house even.
Hey.
And after everything was settled down and all that, and we were dating, and then eventually I move in, I even started seeing some stuff. And I'm like, what the heck, man? And, ever since back in the day, back in the apartment, I've always been real careful about making sure what doors are open, because it's easy to go out somewhere and investigate, but I don't want to come home and live it.
Yeah, no joke.
That's my private space. I don't want to have to feel like I'm watching over my back. Although I have a deep belief that as long as you believe nothing can harm you, and as long as you believe that you're on the side of good, you're that's like a protection, a mental protection.
I always felt like just positive energy, like okay, my kids will get scared of ghosts. There was one time my kid was like worried about the guy who keeps sticking his arm in the window.
Oh yeah.
And like nothing's messed with, the screen's not messed with, the window's locked and closed. I know this ain't happening, but like I was like, dude, just sing your favorite song whenever, like if he comes around, sing your favorite song and he'll go away. And sure, like he was like, yep, great, good to go.
Nice.
Like, and yeah, that's always been like kind of like I'll go to music a lot,
right?
It's good music, whatever, positive place, and maybe it's a way of ignoring it too.
Yes.
So that it just like disappears to you, and then what, because like if it, I don't know, does it? Have you ever been hurt? Have you ever been like kicked in the butt by one? Like, get out of here. I mean, like it seems like if you just
I've had
ignore it just does nothing.
Small pushes.
Oh yeah.
Nothing major. I've been where somebody has said they've been majorly pushed. I know people that have been to Waverly Sanctitarium or whatever the heck that's called.
That one you were showing me the picture of?
Correct.
Oh god, that place looks horrifying.
And they were shoved down the stairs.
Whoa.
Yeah. There are places that if I went, I would know that, okay, there's an odd, I could really run into some really bad stuff here. Some things, whether they were human at some point or whether they're not anymore, might stick around because they're scared to leave.
Right.
But that doesn't mean they've changed their ways and they're now good.
Yeah. Probably getting worse. I mean,
right.
I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm like projecting here, but like I'd imagine that's a very confusing, not getting better situation.
Exactly. And a lot of people, their experiences are going to be nausea when they're around it. Again, I haven't experienced it, but I know people who were with me who experienced nausea, a bone chilling cold that literally that it was to their bone, and I'm normal, not cold,
Whatever.
t-shirt. They've got a jacket on and they're shaking, just shivering, shaking, and almost going into a fetal position. They're so cold trying to get warm. And theory behind that is it's pretty much zapping them of their energy, whatever's around. And anytime that kind of stuff is happening, to me that's a negative thing, because anything willing to hurt
Oh yeah, for sure.
something living can't be good.
No.
Because we're not using anything for food or whatever. So, but yeah, it's interesting. We did a place up in Kindleville. Supposedly the story is that some children had died there.
Okay.
Can't use the name of the place, but so we did our investigation.
Are we talking like a house, or like is this like a former business of some sort?
It is a business. It's a current business.
All right, good enough. Yeah.
And can't use their name.
Yeah.
But their employees had experienced some stuff, so they called us. They're like, we don't know if our employees are crazy or not, so we went in there, and
they might be.
yeah, and we'd done some research, and from what we had one person who was just dedicated to research. They loved it. That's not my thing. That seemed like schoolwork to me, and I didn't like that. But what they came up with is that there were a few children that had died in the facility due to a fire. So we got, and it wasn't negative energy, but it was very playful.
How weird.
We got balls to move that we put in the middle of the floor. We put like Hot Wheels cars in the middle of the floor. We got those to move. It was hard at this particular place to use the EMF readers, being in this basement where we were, due to all the electrical running everywhere. So, because we were instantly like, wow, look, our EMF readers are going off. And we start looking around like, wow, look at all the electrical conduit running everywhere.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, that's something else you have to do to debunk.
I feel like maybe that sometimes actually helps though, too. Like it helps like conduct things, and help things happen. I don't know.
True. And yeah, there's no scientific, there's nothing behind it. So, I mean, everything is personal experience, gut feelings, and everything else.
Right.
The cool part in today's world is we have all this cool new videos that these groups are putting on YouTube and TV and everything else.
Oh, what? What do you like of actually capturing things happening? Or?
Oh, yeah. You have, and again, I want to say a show came out around the same time I kind of got into it. Trying to remember if it was on like A&E or something like that. Really good group. Fortunately, I can't remember the name, but really, really interesting. But they had caught a lot of really good videos. It might just be a lot of times what you do when you're doing an investigation too is you can't be everywhere. So you'll set up motion detector lights inside a building. You'll set up a camera on a tripod, walk away.
Right.
You'll set up a microphone like what you have here, and with Mr. Skeleton over there, and in hopes of catching something, you know. And then later you have hours and hours of tape and video footage to look through. It all. And a lot of these groups that have some good money backing, have set up some really nice equipment, have gotten into some of these really nice places such as Waverly. They've got video footage of chairs moving just on their own, just sliding across the floor. All kinds of, you can't explain it, Yeah, somebody can come up and say, well, this could have happened, or it's impossible to debunk that, maybe they had a wire you couldn't see that pulled the chair across the floor. It just,
well, that's just it too. Like animation and everything's so good, and like the ability to edit film and everything is so good and easy these days that like it sucks, because like you could put up a video and be like, that was a clean one shot live take, and you have no idea anymore.
Right.
It could be total BS.
And even back in the day, they were like, oh, well, that's double exposure. That's not real, So
yeah.
No matter if you did come out with this perfect footage or anything,
nobody's going to believe. Yeah. Everybody's going to probably stay in their same position.
Yes. Everybody has their beliefs. Everybody has is fairly set in their ways. You know, whether you're religion or scientific or just neutral, you know, it's hard to change somebody's mind unless you're physically there yourself to experience it. That's the only way to change somebody's mind.
Yeah.
And even then afterwards, I know, like me, afterwards I'm like, that just didn't happen. That didn't happen. That was all in my head.
I'm
that
crazy.
didn't happen.
Yeah. Just imagining shit.
Was never there, you know.
Yep.
And yeah, it gets your adrenaline pumping, and I think that's part of it, of what I liked about it. And you know, also just the question of what is out there. You know, what happens after you die? I'm gonna live this life, but then what? You know. And we'd have people that, you know, we need to help. This is a trapped spirit. We need to help it. You know? And I have to say, we didn't worry about that. But we did have people, like if we did a home investigation and we talked to people and say, okay, what do you want out of this? Do you just want us to try and find evidence so you don't feel crazy? Do you want us to try to help you to alleviate this so you never experience it ever again?
Right. Yeah,
you
get
know?
it to go away or stop.
And stuff like that. So, you know, we'd have options for people. We weren't just there and say, okay, hey, thanks for the experience, and leave. So, you know, we had people that volunteered their free time, whether they be a priest of a religion or a spiritual person, or even mediums that would come out, you know, if that's what that person's belief was, because we'd bring their comfort zone in and say, okay, well, you know, we didn't find nothing, but if you really still feel uncomfortable, we have contacts that we can contact that'd be willing to come out and, you know, bless your house or whatever you would like to have happen.
Exorcist.
And you know, and so a few people took advantage of that. And you know, there's always the fear of too, while you're out, if you do run into something. I never ran into anything what I called super dark that scared the living daylights out of me. Talked to a few people that did. I'm glad I wasn't them. I'd have to experience to believe it myself. But you always have that fear of, what if I'm out and something comes home? You know, what's to stop it from following me? You know, because obviously I'm looking for it. So if I'm looking for it, am I opening up that door?
Yeah, well, if you become the door, you're the open door. Oh, shit.
Exactly.
Which, why not? I mean, fuck, if we're talking about a Ouija board becoming a portal, why not you? You're obviously a whole lot of energy that could be screwed with.
I'm still out there trying to do similar to what I was doing on the Ouija board, communicating. You know, I'm not just pulling on any random thing, but I'm still out searching to see if what people are saying at this place, if something really is going on. And there, you know, we did everything. It just, we weren't desperately searching. But we would go out to places like cemeteries because, you know, everybody always says, ooh, there's no way I'd spend the night at cemetery. Well, before anybody does this, just make sure you contact the police and whatnot and get permission of the grounds because, after sunset, it is illegal, just like being in a park, to just be out there. But we would get our permission, give them the times we were going to be out there, and we wouldn't get a darn thing. Nothing. You know? So, it's not just where people have died or where people are laid to rest. I mean, whatever the reason is, there are places where something gets left behind, or reoccurring energy is stuck in time for how long? Who knows? You know, but it is
what
there.
A fucking amazing concept. I really like that. Like I like that idea more and more and more. Like it just seems the most reasonable. I mean, I know you go back to there's no evidence or anything, but God, who knows? We might find ourselves in a couple 100 years or whatever it may be going, wow, we were so dumb back then. We didn't even know about this whole aspect of reality, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, when you hear a lot of different types of the reoccurring energies, it's usually something very traumatic. You've got the war battles on the battlefields where you hear stories. You've got murder scenes, you know. I mean, how many hotels are there all these stories this
girls getting
room's
raped at
haunted
the high school.
because right, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, this woman jumped out, or this man jumped out his hotel room because he found his spouse, you know, cheating on him or something like that. Now
Right.
constantly hear this scream or whatever, this window's found open,
Yeah.
or you know, all kinds of crazy interesting stories. And then you have your stories, you know, gosh, what do you call that? More urban legends.
Right.
And, you know, we investigated those. Never really found anything on any
No.
of the urban legends.
Yeah.
There
What-
was, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, so I wanted to ask though, like investigating things, talking with people,
Mhm.
and especially the people who like were asking for more help or wanted a priest or whoever, like just normal people. Did these people seem like you said the one guy was like he had weed all over the place and
Right.
everything, but I mean, are these people typically like? I mean, you meet people and you go, oh, you're just a loon, like
Yeah,
whatever.
you know, it's hard to tell because I mean, you can do the stereotypical look at somebody and judge them.
Yeah,
Um,
all day. That's all I do.
yeah, right, exactly. Well, technically, we all do.
I know.
Your first impression of somebody is
awesome
what you
at it.
see,
Yeah.
and you know, yeah, there some of them you walk up to and you just feel this, they're not right,
Right.
you know. And then some you would totally believe, and then later figure out they're probably not right.
Right.
You know, get the call out to a place where we're doing an investigation because the guy says his property's haunted by Indians and that he thinks he lives on an old Indian burial ground. Now, we did an investigation beforehand, couldn't find anything out about the property that
All the poltergeist films, but
right that led to believe that there. But you know, we did our due diligence, and then we showed up and checked it out. We later, you know, being at the property, we're like, you know, he's like, have you found anything? He likes to camp out and stare at me through this window. You know, we're like, oh, you know, we're not saying there's nothing, but you know, we haven't really found anything. He goes, well, sometimes the UFO likes to park over the pond and scare him off.
Come on.
So yeah, that's usually kind of a sign of,
Oh, it went too far.
yeah, you know, and again, can't say I believe in ghosts and don't believe in aliens, but it seems quite a crazy coincidence that they're both camping out in the same property, and you know, so
Unless they're like same realm of weirdness. I don't know.
right,
Who knows?
right. You know,
No,
but
that sounds pretty wacky though. Do you ever have any like UFO experiences?
me, no, I've never
Yeah.
had any. You know, I find it fascinating. I can't believe out of this large universe that we're the only
Oh yeah.
intelligent life. I mean, granted, there has to be life, but there also has to be other intelligent life.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, for sure. It's so huge. I mean, just from what we observe, it's just so huge, and that's all we can really attest for. And
right.
yeah, my understanding of it is that everything's just so far away that like even if there was something else that was comparable to us, if it can't go like damn near the speed of light, it's not getting here anytime soon just based on the age of everything.
Right.
So
Definitely.
that's that. And that's like a whole physics question that like you can't make mass go the speed of light. It just does not
Right.
work. So anyways, but
Right. No, I totally agree with that one. Yeah, it's everything's on a case by case thing, and you know, usually while we're doing an investigation, you always have somebody sitting down with the property owner or whoever is at the property, asking questions. You know, going through a whole sheet because, and a lot of the questions are asked multiple times in different formats.
right.
You know, and then that kind of
Look
helps
for holes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, kind of helps find some maybe missing information that
Yeah.
will help you believe whether you're going to see anything or not.
Yep.
You know, we never would want to come back and say, hey, you're crazy. You know, it's just, you know, we didn't see nothing. And, you know, they might be crazy and there could still be something there too, you know, so you don't want to like.
Yeah. Well, you're not like living there. They're living there too. Like
Right.
It's not like it's always going on. I mean, if it is, good God, I want to go. Like, if it's
Right.
just an attraction I can go see anytime, fuck yeah, let's go.
Right, exactly. And one of the most haunted places that I've ever heard of was actually up in Gary, Indiana.
Oh, yeah?
And it's a story I read. I didn't go there.
Michael
But
Jackson's
everything
old
from
house.
right, it could be. Everything I've read about it and seen the stories on the police chief, the fire chief, the ambulance crew that was reporting to this house. The city itself ended up tearing the house down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the family ended up moving out. The police ended up doing an investigation there.
Just because it was always like haunted activities. I mean, like, did anything happen actually?
So it was a single mother with what was it, 3, maximum 4 children living there. They were having like hair-raising things happen to them. From the child having the crap beat out of it, which people say, holy crap, there's some child abuse going on here. That's not
for sure.
Social services is even reporting and then coming out saying there's something going on in this house, but it's not.
That's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
And that's pretty weird.
They had priests coming in and they were trying everything. They did, before they tore it down, the police went into the basement and, it was an older home. And underneath the stairs was still dirt. There was no concrete.
Uh-huh.
So I forget why, but for whatever reason, they started digging under the stairs.
Okay.
And they ended up finding children's toys buried like 6 feet
Oh, that's
down.
weird.
And because what I want to say, there was the priests were doing some kind of cleansing of it, and they're getting, something was telling them something was buried.
Right.
And
how weird.
And what they ended up also saying was that whatever this, and they were calling it demonic energy, was, it was attached to one of the children, and it was the one child that was constantly getting hurt,
Like beat up and stuff.
physically beat up. They're watching stuff fly around the kitchen.
Whoa.
Violently. It's not a place I would have wanted to actually do an investigation.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
mean,
scary, legit.
There's certain things you don't. It's cool to check out the lion behind the cage, but you don't want to jump over the cage into with the lion, and that's kind of more of what this is, and to say that nothing's going on, for the city to tear down the house and leave all the other houses around it still standing.
So all they found was toys, though?
Yeah, that's all they found, was just old children's toys buried.
Dude.
And they wouldn't sell the house, nothing. They ended up just completely bulldozing it, ripping it out.
That's fucked up. What if they found there was 400 babies buried down there?
God,
Or some shit?
I would have thought
they
something
just didn't
crazy.
want to tell anybody because it was
some gate to hell down there or
Dude.
something. I mean, and there was videos of it. If you Google it, I'm probably sure you'd probably find something pretty crazy about it. It was a pretty big story. I don't know, maybe 5-6 years ago, a little longer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, stuff's out there, when, being that I was raised in the Catholic religion, I heard things about exorcisms and stuff, which I investigated myself. And, and I'm like, well, it's kind of funny that you can say ghosts don't exist, but then yet there's a section of the Catholic religion that tries to pull demons out of people, so
you just can't claim to know everything.
Right.
You just can't.
Right.
We're dealing with so many unknowns. The whole thing is like you said at the start, you're talking to something, you don't really know what the hell's on the other side.
Right.
So, I mean,
right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Demons, aliens. Maybe it's aliens just chiming in from another place with some tech we don't know about. They're like, let's fuck with these dummies.
And that would be totally cool.
Yeah.
Because they would get the ultimate prank of all time.
Oh, I know. We'll bury some fucking baby toys down in 6 feet below the house. I don't fuck with them when they dig it up. Dude.
Yeah, they're probably sitting back having one heck of a laugh. And
who knows? Who knows?
Oh, yeah. Maybe actually Kim Jong-un is actually an alien. And,
right? Probably.
Seeing how much they can do, he's a different one anyway.
Yeah.
So
him and Trump, both aliens, I'm sure of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just getting us all to go along with it.
Yeah, who knows, man? I mean, you really can't tell.
No. So do you have any questions or anything? Or
I mean, if that's it for like the good stories, I kind of like. I mean, that was pretty awesome. I don't. I mean, man, I just want to believe so much, but that's like I just
right,
don't. I told you the one experience I have, and like, you're, dude, I know you. You're a normal ass person. Like, you started talking to me about this stuff, and it really tripped me out because I'm like, whoa, you're like, I
right,
love it when I meet somebody who's dead serious about this stuff. Who I'm like, I've talked to you plenty. I think you're a normal ass person who's
right.
smart and
Well, hey, I
you
appreciate. I
believe
don't hear
in.
that often.
Right.
No, it's
Yeah.
yeah, no, I've caught a lot of people off guard with it. Freaked a lot of people out with it because they don't expect it, and I don't throw it out there a whole lot because a lot of people look at you and be like,
Yeah.
"You're one of those. You're not quite right."
I mean,
you know?
okay, I don't know if we ever like maybe we did touch on this a little bit. Like, do you ever feel like you like talk to them though? I mean, do you communicate with them much? Like what is that even like? I don't even understand if I can. Like, I can have, like, I'll sit there and have a mental conversation with myself, but
Right.
what's that aspect of the whole thing like?
So the only thing I can say that I even came close to where I could say, I feel like I had communication. Um, my sister worked with different police departments and whatnot around the country, trying to help out with murder investigations, claiming the whole medium thing. And I didn't know what I thought of it. And I was like, okay, so what do you do? What do you do? How do you know that what you're doing works?
Yeah.
I mean, how do you just say, oh, blah, 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 go look here?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it is like being a medium I'm asking about.
Right, right. So she explains to me, she'll get, a picture of the victim, some details about it, the case, and then, she just basically does like a meditation on it.
Okay.
And I was like, all right. It's like interesting. I was like, you hoping they talk to you or what do you get? She goes, well, sometimes it'll come to me during the day. All of a sudden just get this weird feeling and,
And the
I
thought just pops up.
right,
Yeah.
right. Sometimes it's asleep and it'll come to me in a dream. I never know when I'll get whatever answer I'm looking for.
Right.
She claims that she helped a few times. I don't know. I never followed that closely. One time I did. I said I'd like to try it. And so she gave me a picture of an individual she was working on.
Mm-hmm.
And stared at his picture and whatnot. And, went home, went to bed, and I was just laying there. And I just had this numb feeling about me. I couldn't move my arms or my legs, I've heard of sleep paralysis.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
But I hadn't even fallen asleep yet,
Right.
And I'm like, what the heck? But then I felt like my mattress on the head side was being raised, tilted up into the air,
What the fuck?
And I'm like, why do I feel, and like my feet were still like where they were, it's just the one end raising up. And I just felt like I slid out of my body.
Huh.
And I'm like, this would be great if I was on something, but I'm not.
Right.
And so I know that this is not cool or whatever,
Yeah, free ride ain't always fun.
And then next thing I'm standing in pure darkness. There's no ground. There's no nothing. Everything is just solid black, but there is
Right.
no visual floor or ceiling or wall or anything.
It's the Matrix.
Yeah. It was, you're stuck in space, but there was no hot or cold or,
Right.
I'm just there. And I see this individual kind of far away. And he's got his arms straight out on each side of him. And he's standing there and his legs are together, almost forming like a T. And I just feel myself coming closer to him. I'm not walking or nothing, but I don't know if he's coming closer to me or I'm coming closer to him, but either way, he's getting closer. And I'm facing him now, and I'm looking into his face, and I see facial features, and I kind of realize he's kind of hanging there like Christ on the cross,
Yeah,
which really
that's what I
creeped
was
me out.
picturing was the crucifix.
Yeah, and but he has no eyes. It's the same darkness as that's all around me. He has no
Right.
mouth. It's the same darkness that's all around me. And there's like no nose or anything either.
All right, creepy getting creepier.
But the rest of the face is there, and I'm blown away. And there's no words, but there is communication. It's like I hear the thoughts, but there's no words.
Right.
And even today, I still feel like I'm crazy for even talking about this, but
whatever, it's an experience.
Right.
It's as good as any. I mean, that's it. That's all we got is experience.
And I'm like, you're that guy that got killed, and it's he basically expresses to me that I can show you what happened. And next thing you know, I'm not like watching TV. I'm in looking through his body. I'm his eyes, know.
Geez.
And I can't feel anything, but I see everything he sees, And the individual was a homosexual male.
Okay.
And him and his partner were on a trip. It was around Christ of the Ozarks, actually, where they were. It's some resort area or something.
Okay.
And his partner had a drug issue, but had told him, "Hey, I've gotten over it. This is good." It was heroin, shooting up,
Yeah.
And he found some stuff in the bathroom. And so the dude comes home, back to the hotel, and he's like, "Hey, what's up?" And he's like, what the fuck is this? And he's like, instantly gets on the defensive,
Yeah.
And, you just don't understand. You need to do it once and you'll understand. And he's like, "You said you quit." And he's like, "You just need to do it once to understand." So he gets the needle and, ends up shooting his buddy or his partner up with it.
Yeah.
And so he's now tripping with fear, and it was quite he didn't know what to do. I just felt this confusion.
Right.
So he runs out of the building. And he's running down the road from the hotel. And, his partner's running after him, yelling. Just felt like he was trying to make him feel like it was his fault. The whole situation was his fault,
And you still feel like it's like kind of first person-ish?
Oh, yeah. I'm seeing everything through his eyes,
Feeling
how he's
confused
seen
and
it.
fucked up
Yeah,
and shit.
And it's not like you're a third person watching it. I'm literally like my soul is inside him and I'm living
this is
his
so
last
much creepier
moments.
than just having the thoughts pop into your head.
Right. Right. I think it's probably the reason the last time I ever did it.
Right.
And so his partner catches up to him. And just to give the region is very really large hills, not quite mountains, but pretty steep hills terrain. So he catches up next to him on the road. They're arguing. The dude's out of it because
he's fucking doped up.
Yeah, obviously it couldn't have been a full dosage, but he was struggling.
Right.
So during the altercation, he gets pushed. He falls off the edge of the road, and it's not like a steep fall off, but it's steep, and he's flipping and rolling down.
Yeah.
Hits a few trees and whatnot, but at the bottom he does hit his head on a rock. His partner's freaking out. He didn't purposely mean to do that to him, but he runs.
That situation all looks bad.
Right. So he hops the hill. He gets down there. He thinks he's dead.
Right.
Or if he's not, he's going to die. So
oh, Jesus.
He leaves the scene. The guy does die. And, at this case, that is now manslaughter. Now my sister decides to befriend the guy because the guy came to her saying, somebody murdered him. I need a medium to tell the police.
Oh, geez.
And so she, she felt sorry for the guy and believed him and even had him staying at her house, which I was like, wait, you don't This guy's
No.
being looked at by the police. You got children in the
Yeah.
house. What are you doing?
No.
And so I'm like, I've seen this, and then I'm back facing this guy in the dark area again, and I'm like, it's weird because you could say it's a dream, but I'm so aware. I have questions I want to ask.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't walk away from this and say, okay, here's what I seen. I'm not going to do that because people are going to think I'm crazy. I said, if I'm going to take information and give it, and I said, I'm just going to let my sister know. I said, mostly because now I'm worried about, my nieces and nephew,
well, yeah, he's there.
and
Yeah.
if this is legit or not, because I still don't feel like I'm sane right now. And
Well, yeah, how vividly though you still recount it, like
yeah,
obviously it was pretty striking.
it it was almost traumatic to a point, because I after it's over with, I mean, I'm shaking like mad.
Right. Had you seen him before the
Never.
dream? And it was him though.
I seen him through the picture I looked at
okay.
earlier in the day. I took the
Both
picture.
people?
Well, the one guy, he was at my sister's house that day even. He'd been staying with her for a couple weeks.
But you seen him before the dream though?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I'd seen him, and I had seen the picture.
Oh, that had just been extra like convincing though if it was like I'd never seen him before and he was the guy in the dream,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's where this part came in. And I said, I need something to pull out of this, that you got to give me something. Yeah, okay, you showed me this, but I need something that's going to make people not think I'm crazy,
Right.
And he said, okay. He didn't say okay. I got this feeling of understanding. And I was
you're
showing
talking about the dead guy.
Yeah, the dead guy standing there like Christ. I get this vivid image of a spoon,
Okay.
a used spoon, under a pine tree, under pine needles.
Weird.
And I also got the image of a used needle that got hidden inside a wall.
Yeah. So.
And I recognized both places. So at the time where my sister lived at, right next to her was a pine tree forest. Now the individual was still staying there.
Oh shit! That's his fucking. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
where he's stashing his fucking shit.
And
His
so.
fucking cooking spoon.
Oh yeah, yeah. And so I call up. I mean, like it's like 3:30 in the morning by the time I wake up, and I'm like, you know what? My sister got me into this. I'm making this phone call. I don't care if she's asleep or not, because I'm tripping. So I call her up and I'm like, all right, here's the deal. Am I crazy? What happened? Did I just what's the deal? And she's like, I don't think you're crazy. She goes, let me look into it in the morning and I'll let you know. So her husband had gone out, found the spoon right where I said it would be. And I'm like, are you guys playing with me or what? And she's like, no, we found it.
Dude.
He had already left, luckily. And I was like, you're not going to let him back, right? I said, that was already stupid in the first place.
Right. He's obviously fucking doing H on your property.
Right. And like, you got children in the house. She's like, no, he's gone.
Yeah.
And admittedly, they never did find the needle in the wall. So.
Right.
Heck, it could still be there.
Dude, that's so weird.
But the spoon that they found just was enough for me to.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And just the feeling of emptiness I got during that time too. I mean, it was crazy. And, again, I did some research on that, and people's beliefs are that when a lot of people die, they're very low on energy. So they feel empty. And the way he died,
right?
yeah, he would be lost. It was traumatic.
Yeah.
The person that, your partner's the person you care about most, typically, especially if you don't have children. So that's the person that just threw his whole life away, you know, and walked away. So, that's from what they're saying, that's kind of what I was seeing and why I'm feeling that emptiness of what they're feeling and all that.
Well, dude, if you just like connected on a level to where you experienced first person, like you have to be connected, I mean, to the emotion of the situation and
right.
I mean, that's pretty striking. You basically like, here's a memory and now it's your memory too. Well, shit, that's an ugly ass memory. That's not a fun one.
No, that's and then that's the last thing you go out on. It's not being
Yeah.
surrounded by family and love,
Oh
and
yeah. Yeah.
it's terror. It's you're drugged up. It's it was just the most screwed up thing I've
Yeah.
and I still question it to today. But it was so vivid. It still is vivid. It's burned into my head. According to what I heard afterwards, I heard there were some clothes found in the vicinity of what I was talking about. Never did hear the ending of the case. But I did hear in the end he was a major suspect.
Yeah.
If he's guilty, I hope he pays his price. But yeah, again, that was something else I learned that I don't think I want to open up that door anymore. It's it's a little more than I care to experience. I think
sometimes ignorance is bliss.
It is.
There's a point where like, man, you can question reality, and then like, maybe at the end of the day, you're just like, I don't want to think about it.
Right.
Like, that's enough.
yeah, sometimes you can't control if you live next to a serial killer. So
Right?
let's believe everybody around me is a great, wonderful person.
Sure.
It just yikes.
Yeah.
I think everybody has the ability to open that door.
Right.
Most of us are born somewhat with that door opened,
Yeah.
and then learn to kind of close it as we get older.
Yeah, I think it's maybe trying to grasp. We have our bodies that function with our eyes and ears and
Right.
tastes and
Right.
mouth and all whatever, and we're trying to really make sense of that. I think so. The rest of it becomes unimportant. It's not what
Right.
you need to focus on. I think maybe that's part of that.
It's like the extra sense you don't use.
Right.
And a lot of people who claim to be mediums or whatnot will say, okay, so I've spent most of my life training myself to use this extra sense,
Yeah.
compared to, somebody that that doesn't, who builds wooden tables for a living. Their
Right.
sense is that's their ability. That's something they've developed and worked on.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes, like, you kind of just create mental pathways, and I'd be so afraid that I was just like, convincing myself of insane shit,
Right.
But
Right. Yeah.
That's why I like, the way you talk about it. It's all just like experiences, and typically kind of like not necessarily wanted,
Right. Yeah. Not, when I'm doing the investigations, yeah, I want to go out. If it's real, I want to see it. If it's not real, then I'm not worried about it. I'm also just glad to be out walking around doing
Yeah.
something, not sitting in front of the TV. And it's not for everybody. My wife is scared to death, doesn't even want to talk about it.
Right.
And, if anything is going on, don't point it out, because otherwise I'm probably going to get harmed by her, not it.
Right.
And I haven't seen anything since shortly after we had started dating.
Are you kind of just tuning out maybe, or?
No, I think with everything in her household calming down, whatever it was, just
Less
found
going on.
no interest anymore. And,
Good.
there was no more of the negative energy.
Yeah.
When somebody's, going through divorce or separation, especially when you have kids, that's a lot of
Oh.
negative drama, you name
Yeah.
it. And
I can only imagine.
it's just whatever reason is attracted to energy, and
Yeah.
there's a lot more energy involved in something like that. And whatever it wasn't bad. It was definitely mischievous.
Right.
I'd explained it almost childish like.
Yeah. She mentioned something about it the other day. She said it was something to that effect, where you
Yeah.
thought her kid was up or something.
Yeah, so she was like, well, I had been watching TV in the living room. She's like, okay, well, I'm going to put the kids to bed, and then I'm going to get a shower, and I'll be back. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'll just watch TV for a while.
Yeah.
So she's gone. I kind of dozed off on the couch, and then I heard one of the kids out in the kitchen. And I was like, they're not supposed to be up,
Right.
I look at my watch, and it's like almost midnight. And I'm like, oh, somebody's in trouble. You're pretty young at this stage. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna get them. I'm just gonna lay here because I figure they snuck by me, and I was asleep, and they're like trying to get a snack or something, And so I'm just laying there, got my eyes open, not making a sound, waiting, and next thing she comes down the stairs and walks down the hallway, and I'm like putting my finger in front of my mouth, like, shh, don't make a noise. Right. And I'm like pointing at the kitchen, and I'm trying to mouth, kids. And she's like looking at me like, what in the hell are you? And she's like, what are you talking about? What is your problem? I'm like, no, shh, no. And I'm like, they're going to hide, they're going to something. And I was going to scare the crap out of them to teach them a lesson,
Yeah.
And be like, ah! And, and she walks out in the living room. I'm like, well, one of your kids is out in the kitchen. She's like, no, they're not. I'm like, yeah, they are. And she's like, why do you say that? I go like, because let's see, I heard the silverware drawer open up, the silverware rattling around, other doors open. I heard a kid laughing out there, giggling,
dude,
yada yada yada. And she's like, will you stop trying to freak me out? I'm like, no, I'm dead serious. I walk out in the kitchen. I'm walking circles around the kitchen island. There's the laundry room's off the kitchen. I'm walking in there. I'm checking the bathroom, right. The doors, closets. I'm starting to look in cabinets underneath sinks. Like, okay, so some kids are like a really good hider because I know they did not just get around me. And I'm like, and she's like, look, when I come down the hall, I have to walk past all their bedrooms. I know they're all in bed because I just seen them all. She's like, I'm like, no, they were just right there, And yeah, there's nobody there. And I'm like,
nice.
Okay, I'm losing it, I'm totally losing it. And so like the next day she goes to explain, she's like, look, I ignore it, but I had our last year or two, during my last marriage, we had noticed weird stuff happening. She goes like, this stuff freaks me out. I can't handle it. And she's like, even he's scared to death of it, And I remember after he had first moved out, and I went over to help her replace locks and do different things.
Yeah.
There was such a heavy feeling at that house.
Right.
I mean, if I felt like 2 or 3 times heavier than normal just walking in there. I'm like, what the heck? And she's like, I know. She goes, that's why I hate being here. She goes, it just doesn't feel right here. I was like, it's just heavy.
I know a house like that.
Yeah. I said, I've never felt this before. And, it was just weird. And you could feel over time after everything was done, it just lift,
Yeah.
It took several months, but it does not feel that way anymore.
No more kids playing in the kitchen.
No.
Good.
No. and we had held on to the house for her kids, just one less transition thing for them, But I can guarantee if it would have continued, we would have held on to the house.
Right. That's such a tough thing too. Like, oh man, if like I immediately jumped to move the fuck out, but like, okay, if like my guitar just floated off the wall over there and I'm like, I can't just move. I can't just leave. I'm not just getting rid of my guitar. Like, what do you fucking do when it's like, oh, this is my kitchen. I live here and there's someone fucking playing in it, a ghost or whatever.
Yeah. So my experiences of what things I would do were to, I'd actually read passages out of a Bible.
Yeah.
I would walk around and say, you're not welcome. This is my house. You're not welcome. You have to leave, And in fact, that's what I was doing at her place and telling her to do. You need to tell it to go. This is you got to be commanding. You got to be in charge. Don't let it be in charge. You got to be in charge. And if you don't want it, it's time to go. If you feel comfortable living with the unknown, that's your choice. But
fuck that.
You've got to be demanding and not be afraid.
Yeah.
And act like you're talking to a child and say, this is how it's going to be. Or somebody breaking into your house, be more legit. Get out. This is my sanctum. There's you can try burning sage is supposedly something that drives it away. Tried that in a house before, and that was kind of interesting.
Why?
We put it in a really thick ashtray, glass ashtray.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's coincidence or whatever, but sage, I don't think it burns that hot. It doesn't burn fast or anything. It's real slow burn.
We did it to bless a house before. And,
right. and it shattered the ashtray.
Huh.
You know, we had left the room. You know, was it because the ashtray was on the basement concrete floor? Maybe the concrete floor was cooler. I mean, it was springtime.
I don't know.
You know, but
I
we
guess
came.
maybe that's possible, but that doesn't really.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so, well, obviously it told me right there, okay, well, if it did it on its own, okay, whatever. If something else did it, it didn't like the sage. So
Right.
I either found
Came by and
something that
smashed
worked
it,
that
or-
it didn't like, you know, because it didn't put the sage out. The sage continued to burn.
Yeah. That, or maybe that was like the balancing, like it sucked up all this energy and something had to break as a consequence, you know?
Right.
Just to keep things balanced.
Right. Yeah, you know, and the apartment I had where we were using the Ouija board, I ended up leaving that place, moving in with a buddy.
Probably a good call.
And, you know, my lease wasn't up. I'm like, I don't care. Whatever. I don't care.
Fuck this
I'm out.
place.
You know, I couldn't
Yeah.
take it. Some of the things I did there were, because I was scared to death, was play a CD of all Christian,
Oh, yeah.
like hardcore Christian music, and
Yeah.
blare it and leave. You know, I'm like, ha.
Enjoy that. You come back, all your furniture's floating and
Oh,
spinning
yeah.
in circles.
Oh,
What the
yeah.
fuck?
You know, yeah, you know, heck, another story. Ended up taking over my sister's apartment.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I was pretty broke. You know, had moved out of my apartment, moved in with a roommate. That wasn't working out so well, so I was kind of like getting desperate to get out of that situation. So moved into her apartment because she had met somebody, was engaged. She was stuck in a
Right
lease.
on.
I'm like, well, you know what? You know, I'll pay you for part of your lease. You know,
Right.
if I get a roommate, I'll pay your whole lease. You know, so she was like, all right. So me and a roommate get the place. She kept messing with different things, and the Ouija board was gone, but she continued
Right.
to toy. And
She do like Wiccan type stuff or something, or
she got into the
Just
medium
what-
stuff
yeah,
and
that.
different kind of, I don't even know what the heck they were. She'd show me, I'm like, I don't even know what you're doing. But obviously had really opened up way too many doors. And so me and my roommate move into this place, and his name was Joe. And so he was a good
Powerful.
guy. And,
Yes.
you know, I was probably the bad guy because the most activity seemed to be coming from my nephew's old room.
Okay.
So I didn't tell my roommate anything. And I put him in my nephew's room
Oh, for
just to
sure.
see, because I'm like, okay, this guy don't know nothing. So if he starts talking, then something's going on, you know? So instantly he starts complaining of, in the middle of the night, you know, just hearing stuff, you know?
Yeah.
He liked to play his music for a little bit before he fall asleep. He'd set it to a timer, and it'd constantly get shut off.
Huh.
Start it, shut off, start it, shut off. And then he's like, I started it the other night, and then now next thing I hear is loud no.
Dude.
He's like, what the hell? And I'm like,
Ugh.
I don't know. I think you're losing it, you know? I'm
Ugh.
like, I feel really bad, but, you know, sorry, you're going to be a guinea pig, you know? And
No.
so
Fuck that.
we had moved in like right after my sister left. So like this was a 3-bedroom apartment, and I was in the larger bedroom. There was a bedroom in between us that stayed empty, and then we threw some stuff that she left behind, some kid toy crap.
Right.
There was like a dead helium balloon like laying on the floor. It just had like a little bit of helium left in it.
The ghost trapped in it.
And right, I would have been happier actually, because at least I would have had something to get rid of.
Right.
He calls me up. He's like, I'm freaking out. And you know, it was perfect for me and him because we never seen each other. I worked first, he worked like a second, third split.
Right.
And he calls me up. He's like, man, I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out really bad. I'm like, what is it, man? I'm like, I'm at work. What do you want? He's like, I'm just sitting here chilling. He's like, that dead balloon is floating around the house.
What the fuck?
He's like, it's like midway between the floor and the ceiling, just going around the house. And I'm like, that's impossible. It can't float. There's like no helium left in it. I mean, it's like been laying on the ground for days.
Right.
And he's like, dude, this is floating around the house. I'm like, whatever. I'm not even believing him. I'm thinking he's toying with me at this point.
Right.
And
How flat is it? Hold on. How flat is this thing? Like, is it the size of my microphone or even smaller?
so it's the old silvery round
Okay, like the Mylar
helium
ones,
balloon.
yeah.
Yeah. And this thing I would say is like half full. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just like it's all squishy and everything.
I'm just trying to think of like how much of a like so you can get like if a balloon's floating, like how they'll like it'll be like right here in the room.
Right.
And then if the pressure were to go up, like
Right.
just the atmospheric pressure would go up.
Right.
And it goes down, it goes down. So like you could get that happening, but like
Right.
there's a point at which you need way too big of a pressure swing, I feel like days of sitting around on the floor, you're
Right.
past that point. But,
And why is it moving? It should be staying in
Right.
the same room.
right.
And not floating out to the living room and then back and
Just making laps.
Right. So we're each having experiences, I've got an electric razor that has to be plugged in.
Okay.
I'm home alone and this thing's turning on by itself out in my bathroom. And I'm
Yeah.
like going down there. I'm like, and I go in and it's not running. I leave and I hear it kick on. I'm like, oh, what the hell?
This is like a judgmental haunting. Like, no, I don't like your music.
Right.
You need to shave.
And you'd hear the shower kick on, the toilet flush. I mean, I can explain that physically a little more because I've been around a broken toilet that has a tendency to,
Sure.
Sure,
Sure, yeah, the valve kicks open. I don't know.
So we start running checks. Since I come home from work, he leaves for work every day. So I come home, we walk through together, we leave. Okay, cool. I see them setting pranks. So we're walking through. So we start at the front door, walk through the living room, walk past the kitchen, which was kind of like half cut between living room.
Right.
And then there's the hallway where the 3 bedrooms are and one bathroom and then another bathroom off the main bedroom. His bedroom's first one we walk by. Everything's cool. We walk by the empty bedroom. Everything's cool. Check out my room. Everything's cool. We're coming back, just chit-chatting, and I'm just like, I stop. I'm like, my jaw's on the ground. And he's like, if you're fucking with me, seriously, I'm gonna kick you in the sack.
Right.
What? Because he's like, I'm like, your room. Check out your fucking room. And he looks in there, and he was sleeping on an air mattress.
Okay.
Now, my nephew had this blow up little Tigger doll that had been in the closet.
Oh, Jesus,
And
no.
it was still in the room. So at the floor, in the center of the floor, was the Tigger doll, which had been in the closet. On top of the Tigger doll was this air mattress, like bouncing on the corner of this stupid thing.
What?
And blankets were kind of like still kind of hanging off the air mattress. And then his alarm clock radio was like at the top, just about touching the ceiling. And like, we're both just tripping balls. That was my last night that I ever stayed
this
in
thing's
that place.
standing up like on end?
Yeah, on
Like
edge,
tall
on the
wide?
corner. Totally, like,
on top of this doll.
would have took me like to stand there with both hands and like hold it up there because there's no way you could balance it on top of this like maybe 12-inch tall little blow up not rubber but plastic Tigger doll,
Dude.
And I was just like, hey man, I'm sorry, but when you get off work tonight, I'm not gonna be here. I'm moving out while it's still light out. See ya. My bad.
Yeah. Whoa, dude.
And,
no way.
So yeah, and when he came home, he like called me. He's like, "Oh wow, you're a bastard. You really meant it." He's like, "But yeah, I'm packing my stuff right now. I'm out."
Yeah.
And called my
No
sister,
kidding.
and I was like, "Hey, we had a verbal deal, but I'm real sorry. You didn't tell me how bad that place was." And
Dude.
I had questioned her about it originally, because I moved in a week before she moved out, so I was like sleeping on the living room floor. And she had this cat, and obviously you'll see my sister is way too big into all this stuff because she had named her cat Mystic.
Okay.
And
Is it a black cat?
no, it was a calico.
Oh, fail.
Calico. Yeah,
Oh,
I know.
come on.
I know. And so I wake up, cat's playing with one of those cat balls that has a little bell in it. I'm like, stop. And I like wake up, and cat's like right next to me. Like his eyes, or actually her eyes were like huge, just like staring at the ball, rolling all around like the little dining room
Dude.
area. And I'm like, what the hell? And this ball's like totally rolling around by itself. And I'm like feeling like a little kid, you know? So I end up pulling the covers over my head. I'm like,
Right.
this isn't real. This is not happening. Please go back to sleep. This isn't real. This isn't happening. Please go back to sleep, you know?
Right.
And, you know, it's the next day. And I'm like, so what's going on in this place? You know, and my sister's like, oh, well, you know, I've, you know, maybe opened up, you know, some doors, you know, we've had some, she's like, but I think it's so totally cool. And, you know, I've always thought my sister was a little,
That somebody's playing with your cat?
yeah.
No, I don't know
yeah.
if that's cool. I'm not sure.
Well, yeah, and then that's
mean,
when
it's
she went on
kinda
to tell me about the old man in my nephew's room who comes out of the closet.
The old man in the
yeah,
cool.
and
That guy.
wanting him to play
Who's-
board games, and he's like very verbal in the middle of the night. Hence, that's the room I stuck Joe in, just to see if my sister was crazy or not. So now either we're both crazy or,
Oh, dude.
but so yeah, and then you know, that was a big telling sign to me of there are doors to open and doors you don't want to open.
Yeah.
So, you know, even later on in life when I got into the ghost tracking thing, you know, before I would show up at a property, you know, I would do what I believed in prayer wise and stuff when I
Right.
show up and ask for protection. And then when I'd leave, I would say, hey, man, if anything's around me, you're staying here. You're not coming with me. You're not welcome.
Right.
I don't want you. You know, my time here with you is done. Moving on.
Yeah.
You know, and mentally at home, pretty close-minded, not wanting to deal with it, to show an openness to it or anything like that.
Yeah, I think you have to be. I don't know, like, man, I feel like otherwise, like, open doors would just be kind of piling up at this point and shit would be getting really weird. You
Right,
know?
right. Yeah, I think
I
my
don't
wife
know.
would probably kick me out too.
Right? Well, like, and like, I even feel like I spend a lot of time like outdoors hunting and stuff, and I'll be out in the dark and like a lot of hours just sitting there watching and looking for things. And man, I'm like on one hand, I kind of feel like maybe I should start like asking like to have Indian spirits come through or something, because I
Right.
spend a lot of time in areas where like Indians were known to be. And
Totally.
dude, I don't know, man. That's kind of at the same time, I'm like, you know what? I don't know if I can sit there in a tree stand and have a spirit experience, you know, and not completely lose my shit.
Right. You know, like I said, a lot of time, I don't think there's anything to fear. And if there is something to fear, you'll know right away because you'll
Right.
feel the dark, heavy, something's just not right. You know,
Yeah.
there's seeing something that's unexplainable, but you're not afraid of it. You're like intrigued, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there's it's time to get the hell up out of here as fast as I can,
Yeah, 'cause
you know?
the danger alarms are
Yeah.
going off.
You know, you might have to push over some old ladies and run over children, kind of feeling you need to
Yeah.
get the hell out of there. And
Yeah.
I can't say
Yeah.
I've ever had that, but I also kind of know going into it by asking why we're heading out somewhere of, no, I'm not going out there, you know?
Huh. Yeah. You think we could all open up to it if we wanted to?
I think everybody
think-
could.
yeah.
Yeah. You know, I mean, it'd be easier for some than others, just like
Yeah.
everything. But yeah, it's and just because you open up to it doesn't mean you're going to see it either, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I want to. It's such a. That's back to talking about it fucking up your concepts of reality. That would really, like, I don't even care if it isn't, you know, malevolent or bad or whatever. Like, dude, I don't know if I can handle the idea of like, oh shit, there's spirits. Okay, like,
Right.
I think I maybe am happier just not knowing. I don't know, man. I want to know. I love, like, I was in physics and like because I want to know how the fuck things work and what the hell's really going on, and like
Right.
I love the filter of it, but even all of the science in the world does not have all the answers. Like, you
No.
cannot science it all away to an explanation. There's still the just the concepts of reality, just, you know, trying to put together what time and space and everything is so
Exactly.
you go like, well, we observe that it's this.
Right.
But we really, like, we're just telling you what we observe. We have no fucking clue.
Right. You know,
I
I mean,
don't know.
yeah, you know, if going into that, you know, looking out into space, look how much of that we can just barely tap into that we don't
Oh.
know. And then and one day we think we do know, and then 2 weeks later we're like, no, we're so far off for it. Now we got to
Yeah.
redo everything, you know. And you're talking gravitational, you're talking energy, you
Yeah.
know. There's the talk of dark matter. They say it's out there, but we just can't find it, you know.
Yeah, it's weird.
And on its own level, a lot of it has a lot of similarities with what you can call the spiritual side of
Oh,
things,
yeah.
you know. And I think people are more interested in looking into space, because when you look into the spiritual side, it's a little more doom and gloom, because nobody
Yeah.
really wants to think about death. You know, okay, these everything we're looking at has something to do with death.
We
You
don't
know,
have a telescope that looks into it either. Like, how do
Right.
you, man? If we could find a way to kill somebody and bring them back without wrecking their conscious or connection, you know, their
Right.
brain and everything, like, is that something we would do? I think yes. You know, like if we could, I feel like we ought to maybe try it. You know,
right?
it's like the new astronaut.
Yeah, you know, and then that's. I've obviously never talked to anybody that's gone through it, but you know, you have the death experiences, people
Yeah.
who are on the operating table,
Yep.
or people who say they have died but then were resuscitated, and claim to have seen the other side. You know, some people even say that, you know, hey, I went to hell. You know, some people say,
Yeah.
hey, I see nothing but beautiful warm light, and I felt so comfortable, and you know, I just felt like it wasn't my time to go, and so, you know, I came back. You know,
How weird though is that too? Like, oh, it's just all beautiful light and all. Like, is that it?
right,
I
right.
almost feel like this is funner.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
like,
Oh, definitely.
yeah.
You know, but then they don't have to worry about getting up and going to work.
Right.
They don't have to worry about catching a cold.
I don't know. Sometimes adversity is fun.
It
makes
can
the
be.
experience.
It can be. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure. You know, there's a little more to it, but
I'd hope so. I think I started not like one of the, this is ridiculous, but one of the things that made me start being like, you know what, I think I'm maybe done like with this religion stuff. I was younger and it was like a Christian group and stuff, and I was talking to them like, I think when it's all, you know, over and everything and in heaven, I think I would like to like keep trying to work up and like you know, maybe be an angel or something someday. And they're like, oh no, it's not like that, you just go and it's all bliss and blah blah blah, and the angels are what they are and this and that and the other. And I was like, this just got a lot less fun. Like, I don't want to just go and just be like, ah.
right.
This is like,
Eventually, I'm gonna get bored just sitting there and going, "Oh, this is wonderful."
yeah.
I think there's a little more to it.
Who knows?
Right. I mean, everybody thinks they have the answer. I mean, but to me is, then why are there so many religions?
Oh yeah, exactly.
There's supposedly only one Bible, but there's like 500 different ways it's written. And
Yep.
then on top of that, it's all
Yep.
interpretation.
Yep. And a translation that's been screwed up, and how
Right.
languages don't even translate necessarily.
Yeah.
I got this theory that Russian translates kind of like gay sounding.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think I
Yeah.
just think it does. Like, it just comes across that way. Like, it cracks me up because like I'm always like, yeah, Russians are a big burly man, and then like
Mhm.
the writing always seems like that's a little feminine. But like, it's just translations get screwed up. You
Right.
can't keep it straight.
No,
So,
no. And it's, you know, you've got, supposedly there's stories that, okay, well, the Vatican has decided this verse will be in the Bible, but this verse won't
Oh
be,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and but yet supposedly, you know, God made the Bible for man,
Yeah.
but then now man is, you know, interpreting and deciding, and
Yeah.
can't help it, but man will always be corrupt. You know,
Yep.
it's a choice we're given to be good or bad, or somewhere in the middle.
It's weird.
And so
Yeah.
there's
Yeah, it gets to be a real weird part of, again, like it's back to the whole
yes,
ideas of reality and like, why do we get I mean, you can start getting into freedom of choice, you know,
Right.
Like things of that. What do they call that? It's not freedom of choice. Oh, what am I looking for here? That they always call it. Whatever, your ability to make decisions, though, your ability to
Right.
choose good or evil and everything.
Right.
And you start going, what the hell's the purpose? Why does it matter? And does it contribute to the afterlife? And or like maybe it's just even just the energies. Like you look at like like the feeling of dread you maybe get if you look at like, oh, I regret doing those bad things. Like maybe that's just that's the hell you're trying to avoid is falling
Right.
into that like weird energy pit when you die.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that is 100% it, you know.
Ooh,
And
we're just talking life and death. That's all this is.
yes, really. It really is. And yeah, you know, you got to wonder how many people did something bad and then they died and they're scared to go past that, you know.
Right.
So now it's just that remaining energy that their energy is here and yeah, it is like their conscience is here.
Yeah.
I don't think they see time going by or anything. I
Right.
think they're locked in their own world.
Yeah.
And if you're within their world, they have the ability to mess with your world.
Yeah.
But that's about it, you know. I think anything dark that would harm you, it was never human.
Yeah.
I think that's, in my opinion, that's a collection of very negative energy.
Yeah. I was gonna say, what do you like? Because people harm each other all the time. You think
Right.
it's just that doesn't translate as well or something? Or
I don't. I really don't. Just for the fact of the matter of it would happen more.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, for sure.
And because there's so many bad people out there that if they could stay back and still do bad things, they would.
Right.
You know. Some people will say, well, no, that's because they go to hell. You know. I
Maybe
believe
it's just too excited of an energy state. Like
Right.
maybe like they have to keep calm or else they kind of like poof. You know.
right. Or I gotta stay quiet or they'll find me.
Right.
You know, I can't stir up the pot too much anymore.
Until one day the fucking ghost armies rise.
Right, exactly. Some crazy stuff, you know. Yeah, I just don't think anything that could physically harm you could be human. And just the vibe you get from what you would consider a human energy to a dark energy anyways is just different anyways. It's more alien, you know, going into space again.
Right.
It's an alien feeling. It's out of this world. You know, like your experience when you said you were, you know, on the couch and you felt that cold feeling, you know, yeah, that's another reason that's excellent examples because when there is something around, the temperature drops. Never goes up. I don't know why, you know. But it gets very cold. And when you experience a touch, it's very, very cold. That's those people that get cold to the bone throughout their body. It's like it's wrapped around them.
Right.
And it's
where
where
like
yours
trying
was
to
just
embody
kind of,
them or something. Or
kind of just came over the top of you.
That's a fucked up idea. It's like hanging on you like, come on, let me in.
Yeah,
let me into you.
Exactly.
That.
It trips because it trips you out because you can't see, you just feel,
right,
and you can't just push off of you. You know, that's where you got to rely on your faith, your belief, and say you got to go. You know,
Whew, man, I take off running and smack myself into a wall or some shit.
At first, right? Yeah, it's a nice reminder though that there is a reason to be good in life. You know, I'm not just doing it just because, but you know, one, I don't want to be treated badly. The old golden rule: treat others as you want them to treat you. But two, you know, there is something afterwards. So you know, I'm working towards, you know, what may I get afterwards.
Right.
You know, I can't prove it, but I've experienced some things that it'll never leave the back of my mind, you know.
I love it.
You know,
there's something, huh?
And it even reminds you, even when you're alone, you're not technically alone,
right?
You know.
Oh, stop it.
It's, you know, even as a younger adult, you know, late teens, early 20s, I was still edgy about walking into a dark room or just being out in the dark. Now I love being out in the dark because I'm not scared of anything, you know.
I love starry nights.
Yeah.
I'll go walk around the woods like that all the time.
Grew up being scared of what was in the dark, you know, but now if it's another human being, well, they can't see about as well as I can, and
Yeah.
you know, that's the only thing you got to be worried about really is people.
Right.
You know, there is no boogeyman. There is no.
No more wolves.
Yeah.
Wolves will fucking jack you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although it is cool to hear the coyotes at night.
Dude.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But no, there's nothing better than sitting out in the backyard, little bonfire going.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, you know, just listen to the woods, you know, that are behind the house and just chilling, you know.
Yeah. You're excited that it's fall?
Oh, I love fall.
Fuck
I love
yeah.
fall.
Love Halloween.
I do. I'm not
Seems
a huge
like it's in your
Halloween fan.
wheelhouse. No?
Actually, my favorite holiday is Thanksgiving.
Okay.
You know, I love food.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong
Fuck
there.
yeah.
Warm, hot food, and just people getting together without the pressure of like Christmas presents and all that crap. You know, just family getting together, eating some food, maybe playing some cards, and having a few beers. And it's my type of weather, just because I like colder climate weather, warm blooded.
You're insane.
Yeah, everybody says that. I'm the a-hole that's always posting on Facebook the blizzard saying, "Are you ready yet? Are you ready
I've been
yet?"
loving like your posts of like Christmas stuff coming up and like you know
God, yeah.
warm fire and a you know, like wintry cabin pictures and stuff. Oh, I could get behind that. No, I do love it. I even like you know, I love hunting, and I will every year if I can, if the weather allows me to, I'll go out during like a snowstorm just to sit in a tree. I'll get all bundled up and I'll just sit there and watch the snow pile up on me and just watch the woods get covered. It's so fucking beautiful.
I love the quietness of it too. I mean, you can hear
amazing.
the wind blowing, but it's like being in a quiet room.
Yep.
You know, it there's nothing better.
Yeah,
you know,
it does get like man, if you get that good like fresh like 6-8 inches like all in one thing and it's like a little wet, it's like it acts like sound dampener on everything.
Yes.
I swear.
Yes.
Yeah, you get like a muffledness to it.
Yeah, it's a great place just to not think and just you know, enjoy the scenery, and as long as you can stay warm, it's even better.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Or if you got any kind of fireplace in the house or something, just
Yep. No, that's what it's all about, man. I've been learning that. You just keep bundling. Like, if you're cold, fucking bundle up.
Yep.
Like, what are you doing? Like, we're all, I mean, I don't know. If
Yeah.
you're not doing good enough to have a coat, that really sucks.
And
But
that's the other thing I like about colder temperature than warmer. It's easier to warm up than it is to cool off. Once you're hot, you're like miserable for a good while. Where you're cold, it's like just throw on a couple more layers or go somewhere warmer or something like that. You know,
I can just bring a coat with me. I can't just bring ice with me or something.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So.
And I seem to get angry when I get super hot too.
Right?
Frustration goes way up. Everything goes up. And
oh, heat's no good, man. We're like the brain itself is not like meant to deal with heat very well, you know? Like
right.
It cooks.
Yes.
So what is it like? You get up to like 105, 106 degree fever. You start cooking your brain. I'm totally talking out of my ass, but that's what I remember from. I got kids, man. If they start pushing anything close to that, I'm fucking going to the hospital.
Yeah, that's pretty close. I want to say it might even be like 107 or 108. Yeah, you're cooking. If like hit 109, you're in serious deep
brain
doo-doo,
damage
you know?
area.
Yeah. You're not doing good at all.
That's not that hot, man. It gets really hot.
Yeah. You know. I can grab something that's 100 degrees and not burn myself. You know, it's warm to the touch, but no big deal.
I used to work at a pizza place, and you could if like a pizza was coming out and things were about to train wreck, I could just grab one off the oven, and it's coming out at like I don't know, the oven was 400 some degrees,
right?
And just pick it up. It's like, oh well,
right,
hands get used to it, but yeah, your brain sizzle.
No, it's weird the human body can do that. Yeah, you can go out on a super hot day that's 105, 110, you know, just sit there and not have the same thing happen, but catch a fever in the middle of the winter, and you could even be laying out in the damn snow.
Cook yourself.
And you're gonna cook yourself. So
yeah,
it's some weird stuff right there.
Yeah.
But that's why the medical field makes the big money. So
yeah. We know so little though. It still is amazing how much we're like figuring shit out.
Right.
So
yeah, it's there's a ton of cool things out there to keep the brain ticking, thinking, and look into. And
I don't know what's scarier, medical shit or like ghosts.
Medical.
I think surgery might be more no joke, dude.
Definitely medical.
Oh man, could you imagine like going out for surgery for like a brain tumor or some shit?
Right.
Fuck that. I think that might be more scary. You might see ghosts while you do it anyways. You might get the whole fucking shebang at once.
Yeah, and there's nothing worse than the wake up after surgery anyways, you know, where you're all groggy and where the heck am I? And holy, what's wrong with me?
Right. Right.
You know, I've only had a gallbladder out, but that was enough for me. And
Yeah.
I don't care to go through any more surgeries. So
I took enough psychedelics once to like totally fucking forget who I was and had amnesia like for 3 hours, and that fucked me up.
yeah,
That was not cool.
that's, no, I didn't do it when I went ghost tracking or anything, but yeah, there was the in between stages of my life where, yeah, I really like the psychedelics. That was a good time.
I mean, that's kind of all part of the exploring reality. I mean, it's there. It's like, why wouldn't you? I don't know. Why wouldn't you look, through that window?
It's about having it was the open mind, you know. And yeah, I wasn't exploring. I would still say I was still that was my spiritual side, because I felt like I was exploring me, you know.
Yep.
And I got to think about things I normally couldn't think about, you know, for whatever reason, and I would just sit and chill, you know. I wasn't out like some crazy party rave. I wanted to relax. A lot of times, just very relaxing music. Luckily, we had the great bands that we had back in like the 60s and early 70s that kind of help your mind, you know, go out there more. But yeah, it was fun, you know.
Yeah.
I tried my hand at LSD and some mushrooms, and you know.
Yeah, I was always looking for answers and trying to figure shit out whenever I did that kind of stuff. There was one point where like, okay, this was a really crazy one. I stood up and like time just stopped. And this was at a point in time in my life where like I was like, oh man, I could just sit here and like okay, so time, here's the way this goes. Time stops. I stand up, time stops. And I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? I'm not moving. Nobody in the room around me is moving. And like, if I could just sit here and think like this, like, and be able to do this on command, I could sit here and figure out so much shit and have the time to really process what the fuck is going on around me. And that would just be so unbelievably amazing. And time starts moving again. And it was literally like that.
Right.
Like, you don't think that fast. I don't typically process shit that fast. And like I said, I was at a time when like that sounded like a good idea. And nowadays I kind of sit around going like, I don't want to think about shit no more. It's overwhelming.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I think I more enjoy just fucking shutting it off now and just relaxing and observing, you know?
I think the older you get, the more you have to use your brain nonstop, you know?
Yeah.
Everyday life, whether it's how am I going to get through this month with bills and maybe have a little extra fun, or, you know, got to keep everything on track because of kids and whatnot. There's so much more responsibility compared to when you're younger.
Yeah.
You have a lot more free time with your head, you know? And you're just discovering everything for the first time. You know, I liked it because I felt like I appreciated things more, you know, whether even it was just a stupid light bulb, you know, the fact of the time that somebody put in to create this thing, and how for granted that I take this every single day of my life, you know, but
dude,
the difference it makes, you know.
Yeah. Our lives are so fucking cush these days. It's amazing.
Yeah. I love, you know, going down to the Smoky Mountains. There's a place called Cades Cove, and you can go in and see how they lived back in the probably, what was it, latter 1800s.
Okay.
The original log cabins are there. Everything's original. They keep it perfect condition. And it's just so much respect of how much mental and physical labor they did just to survive every day, you know?
Oh, and dude, you had to be so mentally strong. Like, okay, the idea of having kids and being like, half of them are going to die at least.
Oh, yeah.
Like, fuck that.
Yeah, and that's no joke. I mean, like, the cemeteries are still there, too.
Yeah.
And there's so many infant grave sites. It was mind-blowing and kind of, wow, you know, these people were tough, you know?
Yeah. Oh, how about even just being badass enough to be like, here, got a chicken, snap its neck. Like, I don't think I could do it, man. I don't know if you ever go fishing, but like, I think you have to freeze them. Like, you catch them and then you freeze them to kill them. I don't know. I ask my buddy, I'm like, what do I do if I catch like a good fish, and like, how do you kill it actually before you cut it up and fillet it. Like, just get like a pipe and whack it over the head.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, well, we'll do that. I swear to God, I'm thunk. Still wiggling. Thunk. Thunk. Oh, I hate myself, like, it sucks, man. I'm such a puss.
So now Joe's got to bring the bow and arrow to go
Yeah,
fishing.
right. Fucking bowfish. Dude, I swear. It's tough, man. Killing shit's tough.
Yeah.
Like, it really gets to eat at you and become a weird thing.
I think it's perfectly fine as long as you're using it. Now, the people that do it for sport, I just want to go kill this and walk away. It's a waste,
Yeah. I think those people are very much anomalies too.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know.
I'm gonna pay some dude like $10,000 so I can go shoot a lion in the head just so I can say I killed a lion.
Right.
Well, no, you're using this giant rifle. If you really want to prove to me you're a sportsman, here's a spear. Go.
Right. Or even bow and arrow, dude. There's these guys that the fucking internet and everything's so amazing. So there's YouTube videos. These guys who are getting bows and fucking arrows and going and like climbing up these mountains, like legit climbing across mountains. So what they typically do, they'll go to like the top or the side of one mountain. They'll get out their badass like scopes and everything. They'll find like a sheep, a longhorn sheep or whatever the fuck it is on the other side of a valley. Then they'll fucking go over there. Because that's a normal thing. Like, I'm just going to hike across this mountain valley.
Yeah.
So then they get over there and they fucking sneak up on it and get within like 50 yards of it, a fucking goat on a mountain, and kill it. Like, that's cool.
Yeah.
Respect for that. That's fucking badass.
I wouldn't make it. I would,
Dude, most people wouldn't.
No.
Like, no, it's insanely hard. And factory farming is the only reason we have.
Right.
Probably 90% of the people on this fucking planet that we do, because it is not easy to kill animals,
No, and you've got to deal with weather conditions too that can wipe out a region.
Yeah.
And it's like wine prices might be going up a little bit after the California wildfires taking out the wine valleys and stuff.
Yeah.
And Mother Nature plays a big part. And
Yeah, this area I'm hunting right now, it's kind of crazy. I didn't think too much about it, but there's all these dead trees. And this guy, another hunter out there that I run into, I'm just kind of talking to him. He's like, yeah, ever since they kind of locked up the reservoirs and flooded up the reservoir for like a couple years. It's like ever since they did that, all the trees in this region are dying. Like and it's legit, like all the trees are fucking dead and there's all these new ones starting up and everything. But yeah, nature's a crazy bitch. It really gets really weird, but
yeah, it's what keeps the earth changing, that's for sure. Yeah
Cool. All right, let's see, anything else that I wanted to ask you? I don't know, man. What's the weirdest place? What's the weirdest place you know of? I think we already kind of did this though, that house up in Gary.
From what I've heard of, that'd be the house in Gary.
Yeah, too bad it's gone.
Yeah, it's if you're ever bored and want an interesting ghost story, or try to Google that up. That'll just trip your mind out. And there's some photos and stuff of it, and different reports from different people that were involved.
Yeah,
and I just kind of stumbled across it one day, and I was like, "What the heck?" And
I bet there's this book. I think it's just called Haunted Indiana. I need to read it because I think my mom actually knows the guy who wrote it.
Mm-hmm.
But has just like he went around Indiana and collected up all the ghost stories he could. I bet it's in there.
Right. So. Yeah. It might be. This is a newer one, so it'd have to be a newer book.
Oh no, it's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you did say this was like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Huh?
This wasn't very long ago, and
dude, they found 400 dead babies under that house.
Yeah, there was something
children.
going on. That house
fucking
was
baby
like
toys buried. That's weird.
Yeah, that was really weird, and they had pictures of those too, and the article. And like I said, it was just weird to see like a police chief, fire chief, ambulance crew, and even the social services like make statements to this too.
Oh, when kids are getting hurt and social services is involved and they're still going, no, this is fucked up and weird. Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah, and it's before social services in our state got stupid and moved to like the central part of the Indiana, where each area used to have a district, so they could actually go out to the houses.
Right.
But yeah, to me that's a horror movie bores the crap out of me.
Yeah.
Just because you've got people doing stupid things that you know are stupid things, and they're like purposely running towards the knife, and like screaming at the same time, "Please don't stab me." Where in a horror movie, like these people don't want anything to do with this. They want to get away.
Wait, you mean in reality?
Or reality, my bad.
Yeah. No,
And you know, but that's your house. Where are you gonna go?
Well, exactly.
You're financially strapped, and unfortunately for a lot of people, like in the Gary area, they're very low income.
Yeah.
So you don't have a whole lot of choice.
Yeah.
You know, and a single mother with children, you know, you just try to put yourself in that place.
Oh,
yeah. And then her trying to tell people, and they're looking at her thinking she's crazy. You know.
Yeah.
She sounded like she was a good mother, you know, but then to have social services coming into your house because your child's got bruises, you know.
Yeah. Either she's like some total bipolar where she's just clean as a whistle and perfect, and then but you know, like, okay, you know, you do the thing like you raise a hand back or something and see if they flinch, you know, and if that, like, if the kid ain't beaten, he ain't beaten, you know? I don't know.
Well, I mean, heck, I'd probably flinch, you know. I mean, when I was a kid, I got spankings and all that.
Yeah.
You know? I grew up in the good old days, you know.
I
still totally believe in it, you know. I needed it, I know, at times.
I'm not tripping over anybody spanking their kids. I mean, you know, there's obviously discretion, you know. Whatever.
You don't want to, you know, beat them till they're marked. But
no, obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, mine was, got a spanking. It was on the butt. Never got hit in the face. Never, you know. Might have been till I didn't want to sit down for a little bit, you know. But that was usually if I did something really bad.
Hey, but like Pavlov's dog is legit, you know.
Right.
I mean, we do learn from, like, oh, that hurt. Like, I put my hand on the hot stove. I guess I won't do that again because that sucks.
Yeah. You know, and back when I went to elementary school, teachers still had the paddle behind her desk. I respected that teacher a lot more than these kids respect their teacher today because they know they can't touch them, you know. And
so much gray, man. People suck so bad because, like, on one hand, it's like, yeah, I'm good with that. And then on the other hand, it's like, except for that wacky ass teacher who just likes to spank the girls. Fuck that guy.
Right.
Like, and people always fuck it up.
Yeah. And the problem with that too is so much of that gets swept under the rug until they've done it too much, and then it comes out and everybody's like, oh, you know.
Yep. Yeah, man, I hope we can mentally grow past all this kind of shit. All the bullshit shootings and stuff, all of that kind of stuff, like all the racism and stuff, and going both ways and getting so fucking weird. I'm like, man, when do we get to be like, just like, wow, we were fucking dumb idiots then, you know? Yeah. Sounds fitting, huh?
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't even watch TV anymore. Everybody's like, "Oh, hey, did you catch that show?" I'm like, I can't. I don't even want to see TV anymore. You know, I do. I've got the news app on my phone. I go through it every day just see what's going on.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I almost can't really do too much of that anymore. It gets, I don't know, the past Vegas shooting and everything. Everybody's talking to me about it. And I'm just like, man. Like, I watched some of the videos, and it's just, like, so disgusting that I can't help it, man. I'll get on Live Leak and stuff like that, and, like, you know, talk about horror movies and stuff. Fuck that. Get on Live Leak and watch some of the real shit. It's gross. It will screw horror movies. This will make you actually, like, drive safer and shit. Like, it'll scare you to the point of changing your daily life habits.
Yes.
And, like, oh, geez, what was I getting at? I totally got lost in my train of thought there.
You got thinking about Live Link, and it kind of it.
Wow, dude.
Yeah, see, that's how bad that stuff is.
What?
That's how bad all that stuff is. It'll screw up your mind. No, it's a screwed up world, and it's scary. I would, you know, it's weird because I look back and I remember my grandparents saying, "God, I wouldn't want to be you. I feel sorry for you growing up." But I look back and it didn't seem that bad. But, you know, seeing kids today, seeing what their future holds, you know, I mean, we had a real threat back then of Russians nuking us.
Right.
You know, but looking at where we are today, you know, because of things we didn't handle in the past correctly, man, we're right back there where we were.
It does seem like it, huh?
And it seems even a little more real now than it seemed back then.
It's
weird.
weird.
It was a threat, and then we were the threat back. We had nukes, Russia had nukes, so we neutralized each other. I feel like in the situation we're in today, North Korea, of course, where there's two choices. We go in and attack and risk all the South Koreans and possibly even Japanese, but we put it to this rogue nation to arrest, or we sit back and with all the sanctions, they're pushed into a corner like a wild animal, and he's not going to just disappear and fade away like we think he will.
Yeah.
And so he's left with no other choice but to push a button and strike first. And then in the same course, he's still going to hit South Korea and Japan, know. And, he's younger than I am right now, but, Can
you imagine having the power of pushing the nuke button?
Oh, yeah. This guy was raised to believe he was a god. His people believe he's a god and tell him he's a god every day.
That can't end well.
Yeah, and what do we do now?
Dude, I don't know, because we already had a war in Korea. It didn't go well.
Right.
You get into so many issues with aside from just who gets hit with bombs and missiles and stuff, how do sure, we could just wipe them off the fucking map, but then China wants to go to war with us because of that was their, economic partner.
Right.
And it's well, but wait a minute. We just went, nope, that was our friend. You nuked him. Now we're doing, and it just turns into such a clusterfuck. You look at how World War II started, or no, World War I is, I think, a better example.
Right.
And it's just just ridiculous situations started happening. And then people started moving their militaries around, and everybody was kind of well, it's all in motion. Let's just go ahead and all fight and have a fucking world war. What?
Yeah, we didn't we didn't pull all this together for no reason at all. It's like setting up a party and not having it. Let's just do it,
Yeah.
And
all over a guy of, Franz Ferdinand gets assassinated by weird kind of just not coup type people, but just revolutionary type people.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, no, it's the same way, and you're never going to get North Korea to coup against Kim Jong-un. Just it's been in power too long.
Well, it's a religion over there at this point, I think.
And they've been isolated from the world, and they believe that guy can hit a hole in one on every hole on a golf course, So I mean, they're not going to go against the guy that can do that,
Yeah.
So
yeah, reality is freaking terrifying.
Yeah,
I don't know if we need ghosts to make it more terrifying.
I was just going to say, what's more scary? Are we reading the news or going out to a ghost investigation,
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it's reading the news.
Yeah, it really is. It's...
Back when Russia did the whole Ukraine thing, which that's one of those ones that being it happened in modern times, there's all this crazy video of that whole situation breaking down in the city center. And was that in Kiev that it all happened? Yeah, I think so. And then Donetsk is where it more broke off. Anyways, but in Kiev, where everything was falling apart, you see how modern it is and how strange, and you're able to watch it and
right,
man, it really puts here's normal ass people who look like me and you in a city that looks like the cities I live in,
Definitely.
using cell phones that I use, and they're in a legit fucking war.
Yeah.
And it turned into a legit crazy situation. Man, I don't know. That's pretty scary. I think, I don't know if there's ghosts when that's going on. I don't know if I can worry about ghosts if that's what's happening in my reality, which luckily it's not, for me. I get to talk about ghosts and look forward to my Halloween and dressing up and stuff, but
right. No, and part of that is you're in a focus. You're focused about the possibility of getting up to go get food and getting shot,
Yeah.
I mean,
Legit.
that's what you're focused on 24/7, because where am I going to get my next piece of bread from? Where am I going to get my next, clean glass of water from?
Yeah.
And am I going to be here next week,
Yeah.
I mean, there could be a ghost sitting right next to you. You're not going to notice anyways.
Who cares?
Yeah, because you could be that ghost next week, So, yeah. And heck, I guess that's why we're lucky we're in this country to have this kind of freedom to be able to have the ability to I'm going to become a weekend scientist and go out and do this study, you know.
Yeah. It's awesome.
And to have the freedom to want to think how I want to think and stuff like that. So
Yeah, it's a heck of an awesome luxury.
yeah. It's something that again we take for granted.
Yeah.
You know, too many countries. Here's your religion. Here's what you believe. Here's how your time's going to be spent. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. No good.
Yep. And then luckily we're lucky to have the guys here that volunteer to keep those freedoms for us too.
Yeah.
And,
that whole thing is such a crazy situation too.
Mm-hmm.
Those people get so damaged doing all that shit at such a young age.
Yes.
It's pretty crazy. Back to it being tough to kill shit.
Right.
It fucks with your head.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
It really does.
I can't imagine it being a person too.
Oh,
like,
you know, and I thought I could do it, you know. I admit I joined up, and once I got hurt in basic, I had to leave, you know.
yeah.
Realization hit when I was there. And, you know, things you're doing just in PT, you know, what makes the green grass grow, blood, you know, you're living and breathing that world. You start thinking, you know, and for me, I guess I found out I was too much of a can't say the word today, pathicist, and the fact that I could picture myself on a battlefield looking across, and I got to shoot this guy.
Oh yeah.
Who could technically, if I ever got a chance to know him, be my best friend. And why is he shooting at me? Maybe not because he even wants to, but because he has to, you know.
Yeah.
No, you know.
Oh, you look at like the Christmas truces that happened in. I think that was all in World War One. Maybe I get those two confused. I mean,
Right.
No, that was, I'm pretty sure, World War One because it was all trench warfare. But like,
Right.
yeah, guys just kind of like got fed up and were like, you know, it's Christmas. Let's like, I think somebody started singing and it just kind of spread. And by the end of it, like a whole huge segment of the lines is out like having Christmas parties and playing soccer and shit because
Right.
none of it actually mattered to any of these people.
No.
They just got told, you know, go and like go be in this meat grinder that literally is like, you talk about, you know, what makes the grass grow, blood, but like there's like scenes on these battlefields where it legit is just people splattered all over the place.
Yeah.
Fucked up.
You know, if I seen it, I'd probably just vomit everywhere.
Oh,
you know, I
yeah.
could, and I couldn't. Not just the scene of it, you know, what people don't forget or what people don't realize is the smell that would have to be out there.
Oh,
you know,
I can't imagine. Yeah.
I couldn't do it, you know, and
no. Yeah, but you'd have to. It's just like the focus thing.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like if you know, when I have to gut a deer, it's disgusting. I can't clean up like puke without gagging myself. Or, you know, I was gagging my dog peed on the floor the other day, and I like was gagging cleaning it up.
Yes.
Like, but I can gut a deer.
Right.
Without even thinking twice about it. But you just kind of go, this is what I'm doing now.
Right.
You know? This is what I'm doing now. Bang, 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 bang. Oh.
Right. You know, I loved using the weapons, you know,
oh, yeah.
chucking grenades and stuff like that. Was great. That was fun. You know, I love 4th of July. That's like my second favorite holiday.
Fuck
I
yeah.
love to blow shit up, you know. It's a great time. But yeah, I just, you know, you can't hesitate when you're out there. So if you look at a guy and you look him in the eye, you got to know if you don't shoot that second and you hesitate, you could cost the guy next to you.
Yeah.
Or nowadays her, you know.
Yep.
You know, and it freaked me out so bad, you know. I liked the camaraderie. I liked living outdoors, even though I'm the first to say I'm not one who likes to go camping. I was enjoying that at that time, and I was enjoying the group I was with. But I started really thinking about what the weapons I was training on could really do to a human being. You know, got to use what they call the SAW, the machine gun.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's a
249.
Yeah. And thing was amazing. You know, it was one of the coolest things I ever got to do. You know, especially the night fire with that thing with the tracer rounds. You know, mind blowing. But you know, you also
what did it do to a person?
Yeah,
fuck.
just wow.
Yeah.
So I got injured and got the chance to get a medical and all that, and I was like, yeah, I might want to take that.
Not a bad option. Yeah.
That, and I didn't want to get recycled back to the beginning too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it has a lot to do with it. But it's one thing to accidentally, kill an animal, and it's one thing to go hunting and take an animal and sweet steak. I could do that. But to take another person's life just because they're in the way of some political agenda,
Yeah.
I have a hard time.
Yeah. Or even worse, these crazy people. I guess it's still kind of a, in a sense, it's political agenda,
Right.
like the terrorism stuff that's religion based and shit like
Right.
that. I mean, I don't know. It's gross, man. I seen a video that was, I think it was the nightclub shooting that happened on New Year's in, I think it was Turkey.
Mm-hmm.
But, oh man, this girl's like laying on the floor dying, and it was like, that's the whole video, is her dying. And the disgusting part was like, I'd watch deer die that exact same way right in front of me. And like, it is weird because at some point, like, you do almost watch like it's just the body.
Yeah.
You watch the body go through the end of it. And that's another one that fucks with you. Like, this back to the whole like life and death thing. Like, at a point you go, oh, they're gone already.
Yeah.
Like, they already said I'm out,
Right.
And that's, I don't know. I think that's pretty fucking cool.
Right.
I'd like to think that we could almost maybe like, man, maybe there's a way that we can even like jump. Like, okay, you don't see it. You're Abe Lincoln, bang, and all is like your first in command smacked you upside the head and said, "Fuck the Confederates are back on the rise and shit's gone totally amok and it's been a coup and blah 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 blah."
Right.
But like, in this reality, no, the dude got shot in the fucking head.
Yeah.
But in the reality, because he didn't realize it was happening or understand it, he just kind of kept on going and something totally different happened.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
I mean, what happens? I mean, the guy's watching a play 1 second, the next second, what happens? Because he never seen it coming.
Who knows?
So I mean, how wild? I mean, no different than somebody in the car that gets in the car accident, driving along. You don't see that semi T-bone. Yeah, poof.
Yeah.
Gone.
Oh yeah.
God,
fuck the internet, man. Because again, this is all shit. Like,
oh
man,
yeah,
I've fucking seen that. Like, it's horrifying, dude. There was one. This SUV just flies across the median on a highway, gets hit by a semi. I swear, this thing just poof. It's just pieces everywhere. I mean, and a bunch of those pieces are body parts.
Right.
Ah.
Right.
Ah.
Yeah. Yeah. How you like to be the first responders that got to go through that.
No. All right, man. Let's wrap this thing up, but let's get it back to, we're kind of back into the scary shit, talking about all these ways to die. So, any good ghost stories other than like all the stuff we just talked about? What's your, do you have like a favorite Halloween-y ghost story? Maybe one of the kid ones you grew up with? That or, I don't. See, I was sitting there thinking about asking this question earlier, and I was like, I don't have nothing. So I started like making shit up, but.
Right. No, I never, like I said, I never got into horror movies. There's a few movies that I think are kind of cool, but they're more or less not horror movies as they are like based on a true story, and if it's believable, like you could see it happening, and it's not like some idiot jerk acting like an idiot and everybody like the little teeny boppers running around and whatnot.
Yeah, kind of a slasher.
Yeah.
Now, The Others messed with me. Do you remember that one?
I do remember that one.
I was pretty little when I seen it the first time, but like I remember it just being like it was ghosts, and like at the end of it, like I was like, fuck, that could be like they could be here now. Like that really screwed with me at the time.
Yeah, they're living here in their world. I'm living here. We're crossing paths. You know?
Totally plausible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be wild. Just not at my house.
Yeah, right? For sure.
Like I said, my area, my sanctum.
Yeah.
Mostly I just like the time of year. I like the look. I like the colors. I like it's a change.
Yeah.
Summer was great. It was good, but now it's time for a change. And with that will come spring, renewal. And
it's weird, the death though this time of year. It's such like a beautiful and enjoyable time, but like at the same time I do kind of walk around and I see death all over. Like I'm out in the woods and I see like oh, all these plants, I can just kick them over because they're just dead. It's all
Right?
coming to an end. I almost wonder like if like deer breeding season kicks in when everything else is dying, and I wonder if it's like maybe that's a bit of a panic response, like a bit of a oh shit, everything's dying. Try to reproduce just to save anything you can because you're dying.
See, I don't look at it as dying though. I see it as my favorite time of day, going to sleep. Everything is going to sleep, for which I wish I could sleep through the winter.
Yeah.
I kind of do, but it's just going to sleep because next year that same plant's going to come up in the same spot.
Right.
You know, the
Yeah.
bugs are going to crawl, even though everybody, looks like the bugs all die through the winter. They're all going to crawl back up.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because I hate spiders, but
See, you're
they're
so
all going to
positive.
climb back up in the springtime, and so it's just a time of relaxing, sleeping.
When you put it like that, I'm kind of like, oh yeah, that's a good reason to like it. I like
Yeah.
that, but no,
It's
no, I
chill
think
time.
it's death.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of a fun way to look at it too.
No, it's not. It's horrible.
Yeah, well,
Everything's
Poison Ivy's dying then
and
too, and me and Poison Ivy have
Oh,
had some rounds.
fuck
So
that stuff.
yeah, and Poison Oak, yeah, you name it, I've rolled in it. So
Yeah.
no,
Nice.
it's a great time of year. It's a good story time year too. It's good family time, kids. You got the pumpkin deals going on.
Yeah.
I liked as a kid the hay rides.
Oh fuck yeah, of course.
Going out to I don't even know if they still do it, but there was the farm market. They do all the pumpkins up and everything.
Yeah.
And do the hay rides and the hay mazes and
Yep. I went out there off 30 maybe.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
We still go out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't been out there in a long time, but
Yeah, they shut down their shop, but they still do the whole pumpkin patch and everything. They're nice people.
yeah,
Let's sneeze.
it's a good place, and just even down to Halloween day itself, all the kids running around
Yeah.
trick or
I
treat.
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite costumes ever is I seen a kid dressed up as a toilet.
Sure.
Perfect outfit too. I mean, the kid was popped up through the toilet seat. They had a real toilet seat around it. Tank. They had toilet paper hooked off to the side of it,
Wow.
and yeah, I was rolling on that one. That was great.
That's hilarious.
And in fact, he even dropped the candy down in the toilet.
Nice.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So
That's
he
awesome.
almost had a trough going around him.
Nice. Hopefully full of Snicker bars.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Goes out how it looked like it went in.
Yeah. Nice.
But no, it's a good time of year. Open up the house kind of time of year because it's not too hot, not too
Yeah.
cold. Get the fresh air in.
Yeah.
The
Nice.
smells. We had our festival here in town recently. It's one of my favorite festivals just because of everything out there. And I don't know, I think the food this time of year is better too.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the spices. All
Yeah.
the cinnamon and stuff.
Yeah. I'm a
Good
foodie,
stuff.
so this time of year is like great. Bring it on. We're allowed to get a little
Yeah.
fatter this time of year with the holidays
Right?
coming up. So
To bundle up.
yep.
I think people like maybe like we're out in the Midwest, so like we get a lot of like all the farmers and stuff. They're like, I think they really get into it a lot more. Like do people on the coast get hay rides? Like that's probably a super novelty thing in a lot of areas.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like in San Francisco. You're like, oh, we're gonna take a day trip to go out and do a hay ride at this place, and it's
Right.
totally got to be fake as can be.
Right. Yeah. Being in the area, you never really think about that, but yeah, no, you're
Yeah.
probably onto it. And not to mention, just to get the hay in some areas, you're gonna have
Right?
to pour
That's
it
what I'm
in and
saying.
everything. Where like around here, it's like
Oh, we
everywhere.
got dude. Yeah, other people are buying our pumpkins from us, and we get
Right.
to go out into the fucking field and pick them. That's the
Yeah.
best. Like,
Yeah.
you ever go do that where you get to go? You literally like cut the stalk and everything. Oh yeah.
No, I've never done that.
Oh, you got to do it that way. That's the
yeah,
best. Yeah.
That would be really cool. I'd probably start off with a large one and be like, no, wait, no, I got to carry that.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's find a nice little one over here. And
Yeah. I think we had I don't remember where it was, like up Valparaiso area or something, but we had a great
Right.
pumpkin patch, and they did haunted hay rides. So
Oh,
you do a haunted hay ride, and you're driving along, and they'd have like, I remember like the Monster Mash playing and stuff, and like Frankenstein would pop out of like a pile of hay and stuff
Right.
like that. It was awesome. And then you'd get out and you'd go out into the field, and like literally like pick a pumpkin, and I think someone else probably came over and cut the stem for you. But yeah, you'd be like, I
Right.
want this one.
Yeah.
And you'd all get back in the hay wagon, and yeah.
Oh,
go
nice.
Back up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
I always, growing up as a kid, I used to love going out to all the haunted houses and, haunted forests and stuff like that. That was fun. That was such a adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
Got the guy chasing after you with the chainsaw, and you're like, "Ugh," and you don't know that there's no chain on that
Yeah.
chainsaw. As a kid,
That,
you're like,
that one got me
"Wow."
the first time for sure.
So no, it was
Yeah.
a fun time. It always seemed like it was the time of year where you just seem to hang out with people more.
Yeah, get
So,
together and
yeah.
have some drinks around a fire or
Yeah.
something.
Football season
Yeah.
for your sports fans. So
Right?
just good all around time of year.
Heck yeah. All right, man. We keep ending up back to like
Yeah.
two just.
We're all over
No,
the
all right,
place.
this is it. What's the worst way to die?
It's got to be a tie between fire or drowning.
Those are two opposites. I guess it is maybe a fair tie. Yeah, I don't know.
Either way, you
it's kind of
suffocate.
both suffocating.
Yeah, because the fire draws the oxygen
Ugh.
out of you, so you can't breathe.
Or
But
you
it's
breathe in all the
painful.
toxic smoke.
Oh yeah, that'd be the way to go. Because at least you pass out before you die.
Oh, I don't know, man. Suffocating sucks. You get that like tingling feeling and everything. First, like pins and needles.
Right.
And,
Right.
whoo.
I don't know. I guess I'd have to stick with fire over drowning because you don't have the pain. You just have the trying to get air.
With fire?
No, with drowning.
Oh, with drowning?
With
Yeah.
fire, you're burning while you're
Dude.
suffocating at the same time. So
Yeah.
it's a little. I'd have to say it's definitely worse.
Sounds pretty bad to me.
Yeah. And then if you survive, almost drowning, it's just a bad memory. If you survive almost burning to death, you got a lot of work to go through too. So
I think maybe like maybe some of the war stuff. You find you
Yeah.
get hit and now you're laying there and your fucking guts are
just
hanging
drooping,
out.
Yeah.
But you're like just that you literally just got your torso slit open just
Right.
enough to let your stuff all fall out, but it doesn't
Yeah, I'm seeing
kill you
Saving
and you're
Private
just
Ryan right now. Right.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, that's that would suck too. That's where you hope and pray. Come on, body, go into
Oh,
shock.
dude. And then you go out and then you wake up again.
Oh yeah.
Out, shock again, wake up again. Fuck.
Right.
Dude.
Yeah, really, there's so many bad ways to go. We all got to go some way, which is the part that sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. And most of us are not going to go with that peaceful in my bed sleeping.
Right.
Nope. Enjoy your car crash, bitch.
Yep. Yep. And I probably won't be lucky and be quick.
Right.
I would think a car crash where it's quick and done and knocked out. And
You get in a car crash, you get your insides ripped out and they're all falling out. The car's on fire and you look over and your family's burning alive next to you.
oh yeah, yeah. That's
Happy Halloween, everybody.
yeah.